questions.
Okay. Elias?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
Pam?
Here.
Becky?
Yes.
Mike? Here. Curtis?
Here. I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for employment. The first, section A, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. And who are you inviting in? Council and
Council, you and John.
Second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Elias?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
For an executive session at 7:02 PM.
You guys can actually stay in here. We're just gonna be a few minutes. We will exit and then we'll come back. You guys can go sit right there.
Did you get it turned back on?
Yeah. Okay. Motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
First.
Elias made some motion, Brian seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So we're back in session. What do you got, John?
Oh,
7:10. 7:10. All right.
So before we go into our public hearing, for the 2027 tax budget, for Village of Perry, I do need to read a letter out to the community. The letter is from Mayor Jim Gessick, and it states, "Dear Perry Village Council and Solicitor, over the past month, as I cared for my mother during her illness and after her passing, I have had the opportunity to reflect on the importance of time spent with family. As a result, effective May 14, 2026, I will be retiring to focus on family priorities, spending time fishing with my father, assisting both of my children as they move into new homes, and helping to prepare for my daughter's wedding next spring. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Gene Schulnar, Mike Glover, Becky Shimko, Phil Costello, Elias Koss, Rick Walker, and Ashley Hacking for their efforts in fiscally rebuilding the village and maintaining alignment with our budget. I would also like to thank Jim O'Leary for his continued guidance and his support as village solicitor throughout my tenure. A special thank you goes to the village road crew for their ongoing dedication to keeping our roads and parks safe, functional, and beautiful for the community. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work alongside them during the winter months and assisting with snow removal operations. To the current council, thank you for your willingness to step forward and serve this community. Please recognize that not all decisions in government are easy, and at times difficult choices must be made to protect the village and ensure its long-term financial stability. I wish you continued success as you guide this community forward and responsibly plan for its future. It has truly been a pleasure serving on council and as mayor. I am thankful for the opportunity to serve this community and wish each of you continued success and good health in the years ahead. Respectfully, James Gessick.
Okay. Tax budget? Yeah, so this is an annual requirement, for every year we have to present, tax budget to the Lake County Budget Commission. And it basically starts the budget process for the year. So this is a very brief, summary of our budget for 2027. So for 2027, we're requesting $178,525 in property tax for our general fund. Currently, Perry Village has no outside levy, so that's all from our inside village. Just a brief summary of our estimated 2027 budget revenues. We're looking at about approximately $160,200 in property taxes, $17,215 in homestead and rollback from the state. Local government fund, approximately $152,100, and other revenues, which primarily consist of our income tax of approximately $1,525,485. That also includes some of our zoning permits. And we're looking at about total expenditures of $1.9 million next year, which would bring us at about a $45,000 deficit for the year. And beginning cash balance in 2027, beginning of the year, we're looking at about $1,619,664. And we'd be ending the year around $1,574,664. And the last part of our tax budget, we do have to list our outstanding debts. Even though these are generally, they're not reliant on our property tax, we could easily pay these from our income tax revenue, other revenues. Currently outstanding, we have a Perry Village sanitary sewer loan. This is due at the beginning of 2028. The current outstanding amount is $12,313. We have a Center Street reconstruction loan. Outstanding amount for that is $17,500. And a Manchester Road reconstruction project, outstanding loan of $16,742. And that's it for our tax budget.
Do we have to take any action as council?
Not at this time. It'll go on first reading. Council will see a revision though to this form. The county decided to update the form, but the revenue and expenditures amounts will remain the same. It'll just be more detailed.
Okay. When is it due eventually?
It's due, I believe, on July 15th.
Okay. All right.
All right, public comment?
So with Mr. Gesick retiring or whatever, being absent, are they going to host a new council member to the board? And then take a vote to see who's going to be the mayor, or is there going to be some kind of special election?
First of all, in public portion, we've been asking people so that everybody can hear. If you go back to the podium, state your name and your address, and then whatever public comments you have. So would you mind going back and doing that, please?
Hello, my name's Tom Lucas. I live at 4350 Casablanca Drive. And my question was, in lieu of Mr. Gesick retiring, whatever's happening, is there going to be a special election to replace the mayor, and then will there be an election to appoint or elect councilors?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, the statute has a couple of different provisions in it. This is new to council as well, which is why we went into executive session. I would say it's premature to give you an answer as to, what the next steps are going to be. Ohio Revised Code allows the president pro tem, which is Mr. Koss, to step in. They will take an interim step tonight to later on vote on a person to step in if Mr. Koss is not available. So they'll be taking action on that a little bit later. But as it pertains to elections, special election, that it's premature because, again, this was all new to all of us at about 7:02 this evening. Thank you.
You could just ask.
I have permission on that to speak.
What's your name?
Sophia Yankee.
Okay.
Am I allowed to, do I have permission to speak on like I wrote a little bit while I think this data center will benefit us.
Public portion gets you 3 minutes on any topic.
Okay, all right, I wrote a bit, if I may start. All right, hello, my name is Sophia Yankee. I am going to be 25 years old, and I am a lifelong resident of Perry, Ohio. I came to this meeting to discuss my grievances with the proposed data center. I believe this data center will not benefit us. We're a quiet town that is tight-knit and close. This town is old, and we have functioning users finally got this need for this technology. There are numerous articles, I apologize for not having sources last minute, but it's proven that these centers will raise our bills, and we are already feeling the bite of high electric prices and inflation. It will poison our waters, and let's not forget the noise pollution. Some centers you can hear it, but others it is a silent presence, infrastructure. Even if we don't hear it with our ears, we will still feel it. Infrasonic travels far, and these centers are known for that. They will have negative effects on our physical and mental well-being. It is proven that infrasound hurts people. It will drive us mad. Not only that, if this center is built on top of our schools, libraries, and houses, like I said, it will make us sick. These shouldn't be next to our children. And this light pollution will also keep our residents awake, which will also disturb our sleep. And it is a terribly, obviously, terribly ugly white box we all have to look at, you know? And not only that, these centers, like other people have said, will suck our personal drinking water. The water of this town we rely on could become undrinkable. The lake that gives us and nature life we spent years fixing previous damage to from past manufacturing. This is a massive setback to progress we have made. The lights, like I mentioned, will disrupt the local wildlife. They are known for disorienting group and bats. And this will also drive out the other nature that lives on that land. It's a big ecosystem that a lot of animals live on. And if these chemicals escape from the center that help run the building, these toxins will hurt the food chain and keep the wildlife in balance, which in turn will affect us because the food chain keeps us healthy. And at this point here, who knows what it'll do? This will have long-lasting permanent consequences on all of us. And not only that, they say it'll bring in and benefit our town with tax-paying money. Yes, they will do that, and it will bring in temporary contract construction jobs. But once it's completed, it all goes. At most, 50 to 70 people work in these buildings. And I believe in the long run, it's not worth it. And I believe you should listen to the residents and please look into the true impacts of this. It could drive residents out and probably lower property value. No one wants to live next to this. None of us do. And not only that, this sickness and all this could bring will affect other towns. There are people here from Willoughby, Madison, Chardon that don't think this is right. This will have long-standing consequences.
Okay, I'll give you a little time to wrap it up.
For everybody else here. And that's just what I wanted to say. And I just really urge you guys to reconsider this decision. I don't think it's right for us and the rest of Lake County and LA.
It's about statement.
Did you want to go up and make a,
No, I'd like to ask you a question right now.
this isn't a question and answer
Well,
period.
that
This
was
is
my
public
answer. That was
portion.
my question. So if I
Okay.
can't go up there and ask a question and get an answer, there's no reason for me to go up there.
Okay. Anyone else want
Actually, yeah, you don't mind. I'm just.
to state your name for the record, please?
John Kinley. I live at 4364 Oak Avenue, and I'm new to Perry. I'm just playing catch up with the data center, so I apologize if I ask a question that's already been addressed. My question pertains to utility services such as electric and water, particularly whether the grid can support the data center as far as the amount of electricity they're supposed to consume. My other question would be related to the infrastructure as far as our roads. Obviously, heavy equipment on these roads for a long period of time are going to affect the structure of the road, and who would be responsible for seeing that the roads are properly repaired. And that's it. I don't have an opinion, just some questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So again, we're not taking questions. We're just trying to give everybody an opportunity. Did we fix the link with the data center information on the website? Is the information there from the
presentation from 2 weeks ago.
okay, well, but besides that, I thought there was a link to commonly asked questions and things that came up from the town hall. Because a lot of these things were addressed at that.
I mean, I think there might have been a broken link that I can.
Okay. So
I
if
think
you
it was-
want to
I think it might have
check
been
there, that would be the
the
link.
link to the.
I'm sorry,
the minutes for that.
Where? Check where?
On the village's website, there should be a separate link for the data center, and there should be some resources in there, frequently asked questions, as well as what was addressed at the town hall. And if for some reason it's not, I think John's going to check it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
State your name for the record.
Questions in the record, either they're not going to be answered.
What's the name again?
Chuck Adams. And I'm 4290 Casabella Drive, Perry resident, Perry Township. And I just wanted to know, has there ever, I'm kind of new to this, I've been to one meeting, has there ever been a meeting where it was devoted to this data center topic where people were allowed to ask questions and get answers. And if so, why not? Has there been a meeting like that ever? Because if there hasn't, you guys are really derelict in your duty to the citizens of this town. And I guess I'm not gonna get an answer, so that's really what I wanted to say. I think you really need to do this. You need to put us all in a room, not a little room where we're walking a place that will accommodate everybody, where we can ask questions and get answers about the environmental effects of this. I don't need to hear about somebody's gonna pay my senior citizen due to the senior center. It's trinkets.
Right.
So
Yeah.
please, listen to us and help us understand what you're doing. Maybe what you're doing is good, but nobody knows. Because this has all been done under the cover of darkness as far as I can see. Thank you.
John Nicely, 3767 Main Street. First of all, resolution 33.2024, which was adopted May 9th, 2024. The resolution is, gets in to start capping the gas wells back on the property. So obviously you guys are preparing that property for sale. I would assume that's what's been going on back there. The clearing of areas, roadways and things. I do walk that quite often. The other part is, I know I won't get an answer tonight, but going back to the purchase agreements and looking at the stuff that's been posted out there, is there a deadline between the village and the province to sign a deal in June? And if in June, what is that date in June? Is there a drop dead date, I guess, is what I'm asking, that you have to sign when you start comparing penalties? So I just wanted to go on record with that.
Great, thank you.
Hello, my name is Carmine Pateka, 3885 Red Creek Court. I've been in leadership role in retail industry all my life. And one thing that the message I get tonight with the mayor resigning is he knows he's at fault. And he's backing out. So that's the rest of the council is going to show us the leadership aspect and how you're going to move forward. Look around you. You work for us, whether you like it or not. You do what we want, or you're out of office next election. Guarantee you. Every single person here knows somebody else that votes. We're not asking much. I bought a house in Hidden Village. Pretty expensive house. Beautiful neighborhood. I love it. Been here 6 years. I want to retire here. The little buildings that I'm hearing is going up and stuff, that's gonna shoot down my dreams and the long-term people here. The value of my house will decrease because if I try to sell it, there'll be a huge flood opening for people to purchase homes. That would devalue the price of my house to sell it in a competitive market. So what are you as council gonna do to keep my property value up? I own stocks. If you were working for me in stocks and you would devalue in my stocks, I would be able to sue each and every one of you. So think about it. Not bringing us each, we could keep them here all night. Come to next.
Take a second. Hi, Josh Leland, 4100 Logan's Way. I understand we're not going to be getting any answers to any of your questions here, but hopefully these are relatively harmless and, people don't mind just kind of indicating what they can. I do believe that there's some confusion as to who kicked off this whole process with the village or on the side of the village with the reference to the data center. For those that are unaware, this all started with the council that served in 2025. This council was elected in November 2026. So just for the record, I just was wondering if I could just get a quick hand wave of anybody that was elected in 2026. Pause for a second. The record show nobody raised a hand. All right.
Clarification, you're talking about elected in 2025. and
2025,
seated in
sorry,
26,
2026,
correct?
yes.
Yeah, so I was seated in 26.
One, two,
What was your question?
were you elected in late 2025?
Yes.
Yes,
So I believe you were serving in 2024.
yeah, but I was elected again in 2020.
Okay, so at least 3 new council members, since 2025 election. Thank you. On my understanding, the previous council, with the exception of one member who's no longer on the council, voted in favor of moving forward last calendar year with the states. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in that statement. Okay, all right. So my first question, and I'm hoping I can get an answer to this. Is there any contract agreement or stipulation preventing any of you as elected representatives from stating whether or not you work for, against, or undecided on the data center's construction at this time? And no answer.
I think that's a question for Mr. O'Leary, a legal question,
What's that?
what he just asked.
Again, this is public portion. This isn't question and answer.
But we
Yeah,
can't
no.
get answers at all? Ever?
I guess it'll be on the
Good old
website.
Perry Village. But that's what I don't understand. Like, we're genuinely
I just want to
asking.
state that I think this is part of the problem that we're all having here.
Yes.
When you hear complaints that the entire process lacks transparency, or you hear complaints that, everything seems like it feels like it's falling on deaf ears, this is what people are talking about. Elected representatives of our community are not able to tell us what their position is on an issue. We are not able to ask those elected representatives in a public forum what their position is on that issue. People are not able to go easily find your positions on this issue. And we're not even able to understand why you cannot give those positions. Other than it's not a question and answer period. There is no question and answer period that I'm aware of.
Right.
If there is, I'm very happy to attend that instead. As this is time for public comments, I do want to draw attention to a story that just popped up in this past week out of Lake Tahoe. I'm sure many of you have heard about this. They were promised a lot of the same things that we are being promised today. This will not increase your electric bills. This will not increase water flow. You won't hear it, et cetera, et cetera. Since 2022, they have seen their electric bills climb 77%. This is well and above the U.S. Election Information Administration estimate of a nationwide increase of 13 to 15%. In addition, this past week, they heard that their utility company will no longer be receiving power. Instead, that power will be directed to the data centers themselves. And they have less than a year to find a new supplier.
Give you a chance to wrap it up.
This is just another example of promises made by these corporations and promises broken. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
I would like to reply briefly. I'm not answering this question, just fine. We've answered questions before for people in the audience. It's not unheard of. So I kind of dropped the ball at the last meeting. We did talk about having another town hall, but this month was really busy. I'm not making excuses. I was gone quite a bit. I missed out the meeting last week. We were undecided with what the mayor's decision is. Like, if he's been out for about a month, exactly what he was going to do. It was just not working out. So I would still like to get a town hall going. And that is questions with back and forth dialogue, which I think you need. But you'll be surprised at how many things you do know. Because to be honest, we don't know a whole lot other than what you know. Like, we've talked about all the issues, the water, the lights, you were at the meeting where Providence presented their plan. So we let you come in, we're going to have an executive session, but we open it up so you could come. So, and if you go online and read everything that's on the website, you're going to get a lot of information about what we've done and where we are. So it's not like you're totally in the dark. Okay. And I will try to work on getting a town hall, and it will be in a bigger room, and hopefully that will help you.
Thank you.
If you want to talk to us directly, please, all of our emails are on the website. Most of us have a phone number on the website.
Right.
The zip phone is for council. Feel free to call it, have a one-on-one discussion with me. Feel free to email me. Please send it as a one-on-one, not to the entire council, because then I can discuss positions with you, because we're not in an entire council forum where it would break sunshine law because we're discussing it in an email format.
So send me a one-on-one email. I'll be more than happy to talk with anybody.
We all will, yeah. Just this year.
Anybody else?
Carl Setzer, 4470 Chagrin River Road. I don't live in Perry, but I was raised in Painesville. And as a kid in Painesville, we all looked at Perry and we're like, man, it would be really cool to go to school in Perry. Because Jim Dugan stood up when they were building the nuclear power plant and said, you're not getting something for free from the city of Perry or the village of Perry and Perry as a community, you're going to give something to the community. And so I would say, as somebody who ran for elected office and lost a week ago, but I'm still here, I have met so many amazing people in this community that are all very worried, very anxious, and very scared. I was raised in a community of people that feared government that was not transparent with the people from which their power was derived. The more transparency, town halls, answering questions that you guys can provide, it'll lower the temperature in the room. And you'll actually realize that there is an opportunity to have a response to province that either benefits the city, the village, the township, the people of North Perry as well, or they can leave. But it doesn't bankrupt the village of Perry because you force the council to deny the sale. The way that province has structured their deal is that if the council votes no, province has a right to sue for breach of contract, and there is no limit. Jim O'Leary can prove whether or not that's true. It was at $500,000. That cap was removed at some point during the amendment process. What you don't want to do is say to province, no data center, because then you will have no village, because they will sue you into non-existence. What you need to do is work with your elected officials, your neighbors, your community, and figure out a strategic way to get out of this deal by making it unappealing to province, by not giving them their tax abatements and telling them they pay you money or they leave. Not the money for the land, money in perpetuity, just like the power plant does for the people of this community. Thank you.
So before next, where was, well, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Chuck.
Chuck. And, there's a gentleman who just sat down.
Carl?
Carl. And the
so-
last name's on nobody. Makes it easy.
So let me respond to something. Because I've sat quiet, for a very long time. And so let me share something with the community, and this is being live streamed. This council group is working diligently, and listening to you guys. We're not all responding to every single email, but we are, we're being stopped on the streets, phone calls, so on and so forth. And the topic of town hall came up, I want to say maybe it was the last meeting, whatever, for a Q&A. I'm all for the idea. I will support Pam 100% behind that. I believe that council as a whole would also very much support that. And I will tell you that even if it were just Pam and I, but I'm pretty confident that other people on council would share this as well. A conversation will be had. I'm not going to make a promise that it's going to happen next week or within the next whatever month. We will do our due diligence to make sure that we find that we will share that with them. Tell them that you guys want to hear from them, to have a Q&A specifically with them, and to have it in a room that's big enough to accommodate as many people as possible. I will tell you that we listened to you guys, and I made it a purpose to remove the last presentation from being in executive session and being here. I worked with the schools, and they were able to accommodate Manchester West for us because their auditorium was already planned for a concert or whatever may be the case. And we opened that up. We've also began to live stream our meetings and such since I think it was February, right? Was the first meeting. So in short, what I will tell you is that I will support Pam. I will make the phone calls. I will talk to our attorneys to share that information with them. I'm not gonna promise you that's gonna happen tomorrow. I will keep you guys updated. And I will do my best to bring them to the table in a area that's gonna be big enough to accommodate as many people as possible. And to open it up for you guys to ask them specifically Q&A questions and for them to give you answers. So,
Thank you. How much of a window do we have before this is all gonna be decided? We want to have a town hall well before that.
yeah, so that's in question. The date of June 30th was thrown out there. I have looked at both of the agreements, in depth as well as a lot of the council people here. So I do not believe that June 30th is the day. What I will also share with you is that, and again, at this point now, I'm only speaking on my own behalf. But I'm not racing to the finish line, right? I'm not going to race to the finish line.
Okay.
Perry is I'm not a multi-generational, resident of Perry.
Me neither.
But Perry is home to me. And I'm very much invested in this community. I do care about it, and not just Perry Village, but the township and North Perry as a whole as well. So it's very important to me that the best thing that comes out of it. I'm not making any promises in either direction, because as many calls and emails that I get that are opposed to it, I assure you, I'm getting quite a few people that are very much for it. At the end of the day, I want to do what I feel is in the best interest of Perry as a whole. And I truly believe that council as a whole truly genuinely wants to do that as well.
Can you make a motion to hold a public Q&A?
Well, I gotta have a conversation with them to see if they're even interested. I mean, I think that would be telling.
Two of you have already said that you're interested in this.
They've already gone on record as doing it. Inviting them is the other issue. We're going to continue with public comment.
My name is Jim Sheasley, 3965 Cole Road. I just want to say, I have personally gone down and visited a data center in Southern Ohio. The door was wide open, unlocked. My girlfriend and I, we walked right in. We walked right down to the owner's office. We walked right in, and we flat out on camera asked him, what are the ecological impacts of these data centers? And this was a very small one. He looked me right in the eye and he said, we don't know. So how in the heck can anyone decide that that's a smart idea to even think of? Is my question. And I mean, pathetic kind of. There's no research really done in the ecosystem. The pHs of the waters could be affected. The larvas could be affected. The larvas get affected. So do the birds. So do the bugs. Everything is affected in the food chain. I think that we really need. You guys really need to spend a lot of money to research, get some scientists. I mean, I saw the website. You said you're doing that, but we need lots of research done. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Kevin Harrison, 927 Skinner Avenue, Painesville. I'm here in solidarity with my neighbors. I've lived in Painesville my whole life. I've been recreating in Perry my whole life. Perry's great. And it's just, I've never concerned myself with your politics. It's not my business. But going to that meeting 2 weeks ago, I mean, the red flags that are coming out of this. I mean, these people, they force you into an NDA where you keep all of these decisions from the public on a huge public issue. As Carl mentioned, they strong arm you into this deal where you can't get out of the deal. And then 2 weeks ago, they come to this presentation and they promise the world. They're the second coming of Christ for Perry. Oh my God. They've got you covered for the next 30 years. Amazing. Why are all these people here? They're concerned about electricity. They're concerned about water. They have a great lake right here. Land use. None of these issues were even mentioned in that presentation. Not a single concern. But thank God, those $12 membership fees are gonna be covered.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can't see the red flags right in front of your face, it's just. I'm with y'all and I hope it's the best, because
Thank you.
I'm your neighbor.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Darlene Flora,
What is it?
Darlene Flora.
Could you spell the last name, Darlene?
C-A-L-O-R-E, Calore.
All right, thank you.
I just want to say one thing. I'm here from Louis. I heard about data centers. I'm carrying around a petition now. About a month ago, I learned about it. And none of what I've learned is good. And the people that have been coming up to sign petitions are from really all over the country that settled in Lake County and a lot of other places too. And they have horror stories, basically. I'm not going to go through all of them. You guys probably are pretty good about them. But the way I feel about it is, if I don't want to live by a data center, I don't want you to have to live by one either. So that's pretty much my philosophy. So with that, thank you.
People can comment with the link.
Nick McNamee, 4058 Castlewood Court. I just want to start by saying I appreciate the time and effort that goes into serving on village council. I know this decision regarding the data center is not easy, it's not simple. I understand that a project of this size comes with a lot of moving parts. But I also believe that we've reached a point where there's enough concern within this community that the village should actively seek broader public input before moving forward with this project. Right now, a small group of residents have consistently spoken up and asked questions, but I do not believe the silence from the rest of the community should automatically be interpreted as support. A lot of people are quiet because they simply are not informed. They don't know what to say. They don't know what's going on. They're still trying to understand what this project could mean for our schools, our community, and the environment, and the overall quality of life in Perry. That's why I believe the village council should consider working together with North Perry Village and Perry Township to genuinely gauge where the community as a whole stands on this project, not just a few of us who have consistently spoken out. I also want to address accessibility to these meetings. I agree that residents should be engaged and involved, but many people have sports, choir concerts, art shows, rec league activities, and other obligations that happen to be on the same nights as these council meetings. I had to literally race over here from baseball pictures because I'm head coach and I wanted to be there with my team. I shouldn't have to choose between, that kind of stuff and this, but I understand that there's going to be conflicts here and there, but I really feel like we should do everything that we can to make sure that other community events are not scheduled on council meeting nights. There have been multiple times where I wanted to be here, but I've had to choose between participating in my family's life and participating in local government. That's a hard choice to make. I would encourage council to work with the school district and the rec department to try to minimize the conflicts on meeting nights whenever possible. We want more engagement. We should do everything we can reasonably to make participation easier. I do want to acknowledge the fact that you guys got these meetings online. I think that helps improve access, and I appreciate that step. But even with that improvement, I still don't think it's enough to get the broader engagement from the community. The last thing I want to say, something I think needs to be said. There's been a lot of accusations online claiming that council members or the mayor are being paid off or on the take or acting in malicious intent behind closed doors. I've seen no evidence of that. I don't believe that's happening. And I don't believe that that's helping this community or the conversation. That doesn't mean that I support the data center project. That doesn't mean I support the actions that the previous council took. But what's done is done. We're where we're at. And continuing to attack each other nonstop is not going to help or solve anything. The truth is, I don't want to be on the wrong side of this. That's why I'm here asking questions and looking for answers. I don't want to be the guy that helped bring a project to a halt that truly would be benefit to our community. But I also refuse to be the guy that just laid down and let this happen if it ultimately turns out to be a detriment to our community and our future.
I'll let you wrap it up.
Some of us are here because we want answers, we want facts and transparency, blah, blah, blah. Whether someone supports this or opposes it, or is undecided, I believe most people involved care deeply about the area and want what's best for this community. At the end of the day, we all share the same responsibility to make sure the area is handed off to our children in better shape than we found it, whether that includes a data center or not. The accusations need to stop, the collaboration needs to start, and this community needs to come together, figure this thing out.
Anybody else? Good. Want to
Sure. Yeah. If you want me
you want to get up and introduce yourself?
to see if I can get it on there.
Alex Russo, I'm with Cushman & Wakefield.
Give me 1
Working
second.
with community for the last 4 years, marketing the property that is in question for the data center. I have been diligently marketing the property and have come up over the last number of years with one buyer, which I've been negotiating with. And the property is being sold in its current as-is condition with the infrastructure and all of the infrastructure that's going to be put into the project, the expense of the developer. And this video that I'm about to show is from Michelle Jarbo, who was here interviewing the mayor and talking to a bunch of people in the community. And this is her finding that she had from the to Albany. And I'll let her take it from here. Please.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Stop the ring.
Oh. You have it set up that the sound will come through the,
Probably not.
if you go to the, oh, you got to turn it on.
Yeah, I don't know if it
You have,
is on,
no, it's not down there.
but it's not. Well, it's-
You want it to go. There. Is that working?
Well,
Want to hit the lights? Anything else, Alex?
No, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? All right, then we're gonna, okay. I think she was recognized. What's your,
My name is Monica Fatali. I don't live here. I live in Shaker Heights. I don't have any prepared remarks, so please bear with me that, this is not gonna sound as nice. Even though I don't live here, I drink from this lake, and so does my family and a lot of people living around Lake Erie and downstream in Pennsylvania, New York, in Canada. And the stuff that's gonna go possibly into our drinking water from these data centers is very concerning to me. I think it's following that the state of Ohio legislature would be passing laws that incentivize these data centers without regulating anything about their intake and their output, and putting our neighborhoods, our citizens into health danger of possibly toxic materials going into our drinking water. And I don't know why they are doing it. I can see that tens of them are popping up all over Ohio, and Cleveland, the city of Cleveland just rejected one in Slavic Village today. I know Oberlin is working against it also because people are concerned. And I think you guys have the opportunity to stand up for the people who are living here and who this lake is serving, despite the fact that the Ohio legislature apparently doesn't care. Maybe they are thinking about this as some remote project that is just happening somewhere. But when it comes to the communities where people are living, you guys are the people who can push back against it. And I think you should do everything that you can to be fully informed on the side effects and everything that goes into this project and what repercussions are going to be there long term, and make your decision based on that.
thank you.
And I live in Narrows Road, and I live right next to that nursery, and this data center will be exactly right by me. And I've lived here since I was born. I'm 64 years old. My husband and I lived for 17 years on Middle Ridge. I grew up on Route 20, and I now live where it says Narrows, and I'm Perry Village, but my neighbor is Perry Township. We built a 3,700 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths on this acre and a quarter from a wonderful neighbor, because we love Perry. When I got married to my husband, I said, I love Perry. That's the only place I want to be. I grew up in Perry. I went to Perry High School, graduated in 1980. Always read at the Perry Public Library. Love the small town. And so my husband's from Willowick. He didn't know what Perry was or where it was at. We met in the Army National Guard that we were both in. And so when I came back here in 1987, bought our house on Middle Ridge. And then we lived there 17 years in our 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath house. But with the family of soon to be our 12th child coming, we bought this property of 1.25 acres, and we wanted our kids to grow up in Perry and love Perry. Our son, Tom, lives in Azalea Ridge. He has 3 sons that are going to go to that school, and they're going to worry about the noise they're going to see and the lights they're going to see and all that. And then you go to Perry Cemetery. My dad, who was born in Perry on Thompson Street, is laid to rest there. I want to go visit him, and I'm going to have the noise from this plant and the lights. I'm going to have the contaminants in my water, the air. I had a heart problem since I was 45. My husband had a pulmonary embolism at 53, 64, and 67. And we've got to worry about all the contaminants in this. Are we going to get cancer in this? Or am I going to have a heart attack? I saw my cardiologist just like 2 weeks ago, and he said, everything looks good, Gail, just take these meds and everything. I said, well, you know what? I think in 3 years, I'm going to be really sick. And he looked at me funny, and I said, because I'm going to live next to a data center. He goes, I am so sorry. He didn't say, oh, that won't bother you. He said, I am so sorry, Gail. I'm so sorry. I go, yeah, I worry about my health. And my grandkids come over and I babysit them where my parents work. They love to go on our property. We built a barn just a few years ago. They like to go out there. We see deer out there. I've even seen foxes. We hear the coyotes. We always have animals running around, and my kids love to see that. We just grew apple trees we put in there a couple years ago.
raspberries and all that. And I go, my husband, we won't be able to eat these. I won't be able to hang out the comforter just to air it out in the summer. I won't be able to take my walk on my court because I don't like to have to go down the road. I just walk my property. I go, I won't even be able to do that because of the noise, because of the contaminants in the air. What's going to happen with our washer and dryers? I go, we're going to pay for the electricity of all this and the water. So I better start unplugging everything that's unnecessary when this comes. And I've already seen on YouTube, people turn on their water faucets, no pressure and brown stuff coming out of it. Now I don't have a well. Some wells can dry up. I do have city water, but I'm going to be drinking those contaminants that are in there forever. And when this data center is no longer needed, what is that going to be? Are those big ugly buildings going to be there forever? Are we going to destroy 250 acres of land for all eternity? Like the diamond shamrock that my dad worked for and died at 57 from his malignant mesothelioma.
Give you a chance to wrap it up.
So anyways, thank you for listening to me.
Anybody else?
My name is Tom Lucas again. I'm from,
What's the last name?
Tom Lucas on Casabella. And, I was at the township meeting the other evening and it was announced. I don't know if they meant to release this, but they said that there's an agreement between Meta and the power plant to sell the 88 acres that was a buffer zone there. And, they're proposing to put in a facility there. And I've been in contact with the mayor of Northbury and he says he has not been notified of anything. But it's supposed to be happening very, very quickly. And that's what you're told at the council.
If you read Mr. DeBus's article from the North Perry Village meeting, he went on record as saying that there's been no discussion in North Perry. So if that's happening, then it's between the power plant and Meta and it's not been disclosed.
And nobody has a right to discuss anything about that because it's between those two only.
Anybody else? We've got a couple things to take care of yet tonight. Okay, you want to move on to minutes?
There's nothing on good and welfare. So if we can move on to, reading of the depositions of the minutes for April 9th. We have to do these individually, correct?
Yes.
Right. So if I could get a motion.
Before you do that, you're welcome to stay. There's not any action going to be taken related to the data center tonight. And so you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to either.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from the April 9th, 2026.
Who made it? Hang on, let's wait a second till people.
Yeah.
All right, motion to,
Are you making the motion or are you asking for a motion?
yeah, I'm asking for a motion sorry. Asking for a motion, to approve the meeting minutes of April 9th, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Do we get clear who was the first and who was the second?
I think Pam made.
Pam made the motion. I heard her
Pam
say
made the
it.
motion.
Can't close that
So
door.
let's not close the door.
Can't close that door.
I believe Becky seconded it.
Are we clear on that, Pam and Becky?
Crystal.
I just want to make sure for the record.
I do ask that we close the far out door so that we're not hearing.
It has to be unlocked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, you mean the outside to the?
No, this door.
The hallway,
Tier best.
yeah, thank you. That one.
Working glass.
All right, so once again, can I get a motion?
We got the motion. Now we got to do the roll call.
We got it.
You got it already?
Yeah, we're on to the next one.
Oh, all right, next one.
Can I get a motion, to approve the special council meeting of April 21st, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second.
That was me. And Becky.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Hold on, before we move on. Pam, you weren't at that meeting, were you?
Oh, no,
I was gonna
good
say,
point.
I was gonna say the same thing.
So you're gonna abstain.
Good point. I did miss that one. 21st.
So Pam
Abstain.
abstains from that one.
Can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes, special council meeting minutes from April 23rd, 2026?
Motion. Second.
Roll call?
Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Do
Yes.
it.
Curtis.
Yes.
All right, legislation.
Okay, and the legislation, resolution number 2026. This is on second reading. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to take all actions necessary to apply for the TEP Plus grant program to fund safety, risk control, and declaring an emergency. Resolution number 21, 2026. This is on second reading. A resolution supporting and urging the Ohio General Assembly to pass Ohio House Bill 695, HB 695, and declaring an emergency. Resolution number 22-2026, first reading. A resolution approving the proposed tax budget in the form attached hereto to the Village of Perry, Ohio for fiscal year 2027 and declaring an emergency. Resolution number 23-2026, first reading. A resolution by the council of the Village of Perry, Lake County, Ohio to levy assessments for the improvement of various streets in the Village of Perry by supplying said streets with electric street lighting and sidewalks and declaring an emergency. Resolution number 24-2026. First reading with recommendation to suspend the three reading rule. This is a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to amend the certificate of estimated resources for the year 2026 and declaring an emergency. The primary reason for this resolution is to add funds that will be coming from the Lake County Department of Utilities for the Green Street Waterline Improvement Project. Initially, the village did attempt to get a new memo from the county so that the county would pay the contractor director or directly. However, they would like the village to pay the contractor. So in order to make sure we have the county's funds allocated for when they reimburse us, we need to make sure that our estimated resources or certificate of estimated resources is accurate. So we would need a motion to suspend the three reading rule.
Motion suspended.
Okay, and the second. Okay.
We just become pass through for them, correct?
Yes.
Basically.
Essentially, yes, we will be passed through for Lake County Department of Utilities. So, a roll call on that. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and Curtis.
Yes.
I have a rookie question. If I wanted to add something about the PEP grant, when do I do that?
You can discuss it during your section, or you could just let me know what.
So wait till my section.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And we need a motion to approve resolution 24-2026,
Motion.
and a second.
Second.
All right. Roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Okay, resolution number 25-2026. This is on first reading, with a recommendation to, suspend the three reading rule. This is a resolution amending resolution number 51-2025 and approving a permanent appropriations funds for the Village of Perry, Ohio for the year 2026 and declaring an emergency. So there's a number of items that we were looking at, potentially increasing appropriations. So the first one, personal services, police chief, we're looking at increasing that from $92,513.78 to $150,500, and that's due to an impending hire of a new police chief. That line item is currently exhausted. There's a similar line item, Medicare police chief, which would increase from $1,341.47 to $2,182. Motor vehicles, from $210,000 to $270,000. And this is mainly because the quotes for the, proposed new plow truck were significantly higher than expected. They came in at about $45,000 higher than we anticipated. Land and land improvements, we're looking at increasing that from $6,100 to $11,000. There may be a need to remove some additional dead trees in the village, but that's still up for discussion, but it may be necessary. And then our street fund, 2011, streets, highways, sidewalks, and curbs. This is for our Green Street project. We're looking at potentially increasing that from $207,200 to $349,200. This has to do with the bids that came in for the asphalt work for Green Street were significantly higher than originally estimated. And this is, and there'll be discussion later on about this too. But if we do decide to move forward with both portions of that project, then we will need additional funds to pay for that. 2907, this is our property maintenance fund, which has been allocated for general welfare. We're looking at adding a supplies and materials line item and increasing that from $0 to $7,000. This would pay for the proposal to purchase laptops, new laptops for the council and mayor, and as well as some basic necessary software. And this would be able to be used at the village hall here and during meetings. And then the largest line item you'll see is 4901, utility distribution systems for the Green Street project, and this would increase from $0 to $1,100,000. And this will be funded by reimbursements from Lake County for the Green Street water line improvement project. There's a little bit of wiggle room in that appropriation because there are some cost overruns. So we would need a motion to suspend the three reading on that.
Question. You were saying laptops for everyone?
Correct. Yeah.
Did we approve that? I know we had a discussion about it, but I didn't think it was moving forward. Did it?
We didn't approve it individually. This would provide the funding
Yeah.
for it.
This would be to provide the funds if we're gonna move forward with,
But we haven't. So we're providing the funds, but we haven't decided if we want to do it.
correct. I mean, we could discuss it now if you want.
That's not what's on the table. I mean,
Yeah, we need to make the motion and second it for the waiving of the rules,
Right.
and then
And
after
then
that, we get into
discussion.
the discussion on it. On
Yes.
the resolution.
that's
So
correct.
we're a little premature on discussing it at this point.
So are you making the motion?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay. And a second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky, Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
And a motion to approve 2025-2026.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Now you can discuss. Now you can ask your question.
About what?
Now it's up for discussion now that it's
Oh.
been properly brought before council. You can discuss any of the items within. He's looking to amend the permanent appropriation so that there's enough money in there for all these different things that he went through. One of those was the laptops. So if you guys wanted to discuss that, Elias, do you want to go over your perspective on that?
Yeah, so, it's, you know, I've had conversations individually with, some of the people on council and stuff like that. And it's just been my opinion, actually, even before this, probably well over a year ago, that we should have something specific for, council stuff. I think it would be beneficial in many aspects, but one of them is the time that it consumes, John, to get these things prepared for us, and print it off. I mean, these things are novels. And I would say that, within minutes, it's just discarded. I think it would be easier also for us to communicate through it, and be able to track things. I know that there are certain times where, we're getting documents that I can't either pull up on my phone, read it, respond to it, so on and so forth. So I think in order for us to become more efficient, and better servant to the community, to be able to provide everybody with a console laptop, in our business would be a benefit.
So who doesn't have a laptop?
Well, we all have our own personal laptop.
Well, yeah.
I think the idea is that he would like to see each one be issued one by the village, because there's questions that come up about public records request and being able to garner information. If we all had issued through the village, it would make it easier for them to collect that information.
Couldn't they just do that on your personal computer as well? I mean, I've had 2 public requests now, and I'm just doing it on my own personal computer. So how would that go faster if I was doing it on a council computer?
What if we don't have a personal computer?
That's what I just said. Who doesn't have a computer? You don't have a laptop?
I don't either.
Laptop or computer, desktop at home.
I've been using my phone.
It is very
I mean, I don't know how much I would use
What
it for.
is village business versus personal business, so there's no bleed over too.
In other communities, they'll use it instead of sending out all this paper, they just pull it up on their laptop. So everybody's looking at it in front of them electronically rather than having to create all the paper. So
Right.
it would make it easier from an overall perspective
Right.
if
I guess I
everybody
just-
had them.
That, people had their own personal laptops. That's what I do at home. I pull it up on my laptop and turn it off, which I don't because it was use the ink. But I don't know, how much would they cost? Do we know yet?
I think we appropriated $7,000, total for, what was
I
it?
think, like a basic laptop is around $600 to $700. And then I'm anticipating that the basic software package would run another couple $1,000s to all those computers together.
It's 7 total computers.
Yeah.
6.
Council, 1 mayor.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's important to remember too is we're just allocating the money, not necessarily spending it at this point, right?
Correct.
It cleans it up, so it's one allocation, and we're not coming back again to do a reappropriation a second time.
Agreed.
And I think we can keep costs down too by if Cam doesn't want a laptop, we don't purchase that one. So if we only need 3, we only spend 3.
My comment is, I think we're working towards having a third-party IT. Is there been more negotiations on that?
So Lake County IT will begin working on our system probably within a week or 2. So I will definitely ask them if they're able to potentially, get us a discount on a bulk purchase or something like that. So I will ask them.
Will they be in charge of issuing and
They would be able to provide the security protocols and stuff like that.
Lake County has an IT department that covers all the Lake County departments and certain communities that have done, Timberlake does, right?
Yeah. we do.
And
For
so,
security?
well, they oversee the overall IT for the community. You get economies of scale by them doing it. And then you have access to all the stuff that they have available, including the buying discounts that they can provide. There is a cost. You have to pay them for the IT, just as you would if you got somebody to cover it privately.
It's far less expensive than standard.
Well, and they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Like if you go with somebody that even somebody very reputable, they decide to go into a different business or they sell their business now, you're kind of stuck. Here, we know that the Lake County IT is going to be there, at least we would expect, till property taxes get.
Can I say something? I just.
No, we're not, it's not public
This is
portion.
just throwing out. This is a personal thing. I would think that as council, I'd want to keep council stuff, because my wife works at home and for an insurance kind of thing, she can't
put personal stuff on that computer and vice versa. And I think it would be beneficial for you guys to have the same, even if no one has a personal computer at home or somebody does. And I think it'd be better access, say Curtis or somebody else wants to bring up, to say to me, hey, this is what we discussed since you missed the council meeting or something like that.
Yeah.
That-
Thank you.
That's just a personal thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, any other discussion amongst council?
It's not in regards to laptops, but as far as the $1 million for Green Street.
Correct.
I know it's passed through, we'll get reimbursed for it.
Right.
Is there some way we can notate the end of year budget somehow to reflect that is the reason that our budget got inflated this year? Because it's gonna look like we increased our purchases by $1 million.
It's in a separate fund, so it will definitely be noticeable that it's not from the general fund.
But it'll still look like an expense. So is there some way that we can note that, just so people 5 years down the road, if they have questions?
I mean, it'll be clear that it was specifically for Green Street, so it's actually coded as Green Street, so like when the auditors ever do finish this audit, the next audit, they'll know that that was specifically for Green Street.
Okay, I just want to make sure that if the question arises in a few years, that we're easily able to answer why we inflated.
So all of those, like, there'll be a separate ledger for that project, so if somebody wanted to have a question about it, we can bring it up and show that the expenses for that project.
On the flip side of that, we show the unexpected income coming in at that amount as well.
Yeah, people usually look at the expense.
Of course, yeah.
And yeah,
Look what you did. Look at you, spent more money than
It's spending spree.
All right. Any other discussion? Otherwise, let's do a roll call.
Roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 26-2026. First reading, with a recommendation to suspend the 3 reading rule. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer of the village to accept a bid and enter into a contract with UB Bentley Inc. for the Green Street water line replacement and roadway improvements within the village and declaring an emergency. So this is the reason we had the last 2 resolutions. So we are asking for a resolution.
You want to speak to that?
Yeah, I would like Bob to kind of speak to this because these are all kind of tied in one way to another
Right.
with each other. So if Bob could kind of speak to this.
So the good news is we put both projects together, the water line and the Green Street overlay for economies of scale, and it did help to some degree. The engineer's estimate for the total bid package was $1.9 million. That was $1.4 million for the water line and $500,000 for the Green Street reconstruction. So the bids came in very favorably. ED Bentley was $1,744,000. Siteworks was the other bidder. They came in at $1,820,000. So that sounds good. Unfortunately, the water line came in at $995,000. And the roadway project came in at $750,000. So that's $250,000 over the engineer's estimate. So looking at it, a couple things that caused that. One is we're late to the game this year because a lot of the asphalt contractors are already full. They've already got their plate full for the season. They're not bidding. If they do bid, they're not very competitive when they do. And then we have this little thing going on in the Middle East that's causing oil prices to go up. And oil is a big component to asphalt. So asphalt prices have jumped tremendously over the last month. So a big difference today than it was a month ago when we bid other projects. So we're at a crossroads where we can do one of 2 things. We can move forward with this. John's worked out the numbers where we can afford to go ahead and move forward with Green Street. It's going to be challenging financially. The other alternative is we can accept the water line bid and reject the asphalt bid. If we do that, I already talked to OPWC, we can kick the money into next year. And we can bid it early next year, get better prices, hope that whatever's going on in the Middle East is calmed down by then. There's no guarantee it'll be cheaper in the spring. I will tell you, a few years ago, we bid Shepherd Road for Perry Township. We were in the same situation with an OPWC grant. We bid it a little later in the year. They had a huge escalation in asphalt. The bid came in at like 1.2 million, 1.3 million. We rejected all the bids. We rebid it the following spring. It came in at 900,000. So I anticipate that something similar will happen with this just because we were late. And I can compare what the bid costs were in this bid and what they were in the township bid that we bid in early April. And there's a huge difference in those asphalt prices. So my recommendation would be to is go forward with the water line because that's going to be paid for with Lake County Department of Utilities, and to reject the Part B of the contract, and we'll bid it next spring. So, and another thing coming up that I have in my report is we found out this afternoon, we did get funding for Maple Street. So we can actually take Green Street and Maple Street together and bid them as one paving program. And Elias even brought it up, combining with Township. So so you guys know is we usually bid Perry Township, Madison Township, and this year we bid North Perry Village paving programs together. Because with that much economy of scale, you're attracting better bidders, more bidders, and you're getting better prices. Your unit prices are better. So again, we have a lot of flexibility next spring. So we'd have Maple, we'd have Green, and then we'd have the township programs. I think North Perry's actually looked at paving next year too. So we could have a huge program.
So
the economies of scale.
So to piggyback on that, you know, it's been one of the things over the past few weeks that, you know, that I've been working on, and Bob and John have been phenomenal with kind of guiding me through this process and stuff like that. So obviously, a $250,000, you know, increase versus what we anticipated it to be, is ginormous. He did ask me if I wanted to move forward to see if they were willing to move that money to the grant over to next year. You just found out about that, I think it was yesterday.
OPWC.
And so, so that, you know, that's the good news as well. The conversation that I had with Bob was, you know, obviously collaboration. And when you can bring more to the table, then you become more attractive. And so, I presented to him the possibility of us maybe reaching out to other communities around us, and seeing if we can kind of combine, you know, their repaving projects with ours and bring down the overall cost, for everybody. So there's no guarantee that could happen, but at least those are conversations that could be had. In full transparency, we are rolling the dice, right? Because Iran could get worse. It could move longer. And you know, it could be higher than the $250,000 next year. So it is a roll of the dice. The benefits would be, that we got the grant moved over to next year. So we secured that part of it. We can start having these discussions now with other communities to see if we can collaborate, and bring and do a group road project, bidding together. And then the other thing, it minimizes the traffic issues that we could have with Green Road and the bridge right now. Because moving forward, then essentially that project would be happening simultaneously with the Green Road project. So there are benefits, but in full transparency, we could be rolling the dice from a financial standpoint, with next year. It's none of the other communities could say they may not have projects and or they don't want to combine with us. And the situation in Iran could be worse.
I think North Perry will, because I think we have an ongoing.
And I think the same thing with the other two townships. We added North Perry Village. We've done Perry Township and Madison Township for years together. And we added North Perry Village this year. And none of the townships had an issue with that. I don't think they'll have an issue adding Perry Village.
Yeah. So, but there's, again, I can't speak to them, right? And so I'm a believer that until, you know, the pen hits the paper, and everybody's approved it and stuff like that, you don't have anything. So I just want full transparency that, hey,
I'm glad you brought up the Green Street because right now Bentley's not working on the drainage project and traffic is so bad on Green Street from the Manchester, the local detour, I'll call it, people who know they can get around on Green Street.
Yep.
So they're hoping that it dies down after school's out.
All right.
So
Nita, go ahead.
I know we're kind of getting in discussion now. Should have waited until.
No, I think for this, it was important for him to lay out the groundwork.
Well,
if you have questions, ask him.
I have a couple of questions. That's why I'm asking. So your suggestion is to put Part B on hold, which is the repaving portion of Green Street.
We would reject Part B.
Reject it,
right?
And
Bentley's not doing that work.
Resubmit it next year.
It's being done by one of their subs. They don't do asphalt work.
Okay,
So,
but that resurfacing project
is also the portion of the road widening, correct?
It's
Okay.
together.
And you said that that came in $700,000 higher than expected?
750,000, 749 and some change.
So the 750,000 higher
No.
250.
250,000.
500.
for the road resurfacing portion of it
Right.
came in 750,000 higher, did you say?
No, 250.
250,000 higher. The budget
I
was
thought that was on the
500.
total
It
project.
came in 750. Total project, we're under with the water.
Okay, I heard you backwards, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the water line came in and really, it came in $400,000 under.
Okay.
So legally, we can award the whole project. You have to be within 20% of the engineer's estimate, which we are.
But you're not recommending it because of the cost of the asphalt.
And that's our portion.
Yeah, and that's what hits you guys. And if I were in your shoes, I would hold off and bid it this spring.
Maybe just like standalone, just us. Like would we
Right now,
like the way we bid it, it was just us doing it.
It was combined with the water line.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
But
only
yes,
Perry
It's
Village.
only us
Yeah.
paving, right?
Yeah.
And from what you said, with we can actually combine with Maple for our own paving.
Yes.
If we just leave it alone, right?
Absolutely. And then we have the option of going with the other municipalities. And
So I guess answer me this, in your experience, if we are able to pull more municipalities in, right, and say the costs stay level, right? It doesn't go down, doesn't go up. Would that be enough to at least bring it down some from what like the Iran issue is going on?
So, like, for instance, if we bid just the $500,000 Green Street project, you're gonna get a certain number of bidders that are willing to travel out of their comfort zone to do 500,000. If we combine it with, I think North Prairie wants to do Lockwood
Yeah.
next year. With Perry Township, they usually do $300,000 to $400,000. Madison does $500,000 to $600,000. All of a sudden, you're talking a $1.5 to $2 million program. Well, this year, even with that program, I think it was about 900,000. Well, they have from Brook Park bid that project because it was big enough that we could attract those bidders and get better prices.
And history has shown that that has worked in the past, that we did call, well, the county did call and we piggybacked and did Thompson. Thompson? Yeah.
Harper.
Yeah, Harper, that's it.
And we did have Maple.
The other time.
Correct.
Right,
We have
we
Maple
had
that should as well.
such a better
Oh,
discount
yes.
because we tied in with the county now. So it has worked.
So if there's no other discussion, why don't we do the motion to suspend and get this thing
You
passed?
said to discuss.
I did.
It's your fault.
I did.
I'll make a motion to suspend.
And a second.
Second.
And roll call. Elias.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
Becky.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
And then I guess we need a motion
Motion on one of what
on
A or
one,
B.
right, on one of the options.
Motion to reject, B, which is not repaving this year, Green Street.
Second.
So
And
accept
accepting it.
accept the bid A, reject bid B.
All right.
I heard
Second.
Sorry, who made the second, Brian?
Brian did.
All right, roll call. Elias.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 27 twenty twenty-six. First reading with a recommendation to suspend the reading rule. This is a resolution authorizing acting mayor Elias Koss and village engineer Robert Parker to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and or Local Transportation Improvement Program and to execute contracts as required. I believe this is for the main Harper Thompson. correct?
This would be, when we talked to the mayor, he wanted to overlay, Main Street, Thompson, and the rest of Hartford from the culvert to Main Street. When we did the numbers, it was high. It was like $1.1 billion. So I suggested we break it into half. So this takes Main Street from where we finished Main Street last time at Center, takes it out to, Harper. Thompson and Harper, so that triangle, if you will. And what it does is it brings it to about $600,000. The estimate we're asking for, we're applying for half of that with OPUC. That it's a pre-application. They're due next Friday. The pre-application is done. John was kind enough to review it. We got everything hashed out. All we need is this ordinance to go with it. We can submit it.
So motion to
Suspend.
suspend the rules. Authorizing myself and Robert Parker to submit that application to OPWC.
Oh, I'll make a motion.
Okay, and we have a second.
Second.
Roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
And motion to approve resolution 27-2026.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I said it.
Yep.
The remainder of Main Street, now that the village goes all the way to Eden Ford, like where does that
That would fall
fall?
under the next application. So there's no guarantee we're gonna get OPWC funds.
Got it.
I say that, but we've submitted 3 times and we've got 3 funds.
We're knock on wood.
You get no wood.
Roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Resolution number 28-2026. This is, we can keep this on first reading. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into a contract for construction administration services with SVJ Consulting, Inc. for the Green Street water line replacement and roadway improvement projects and declaring an emergency. We were waiting on.
We needed to know which direction we were gonna go, so this will probably go away. We'll have a contract with the Department of Utilities to do the water line.
Okay, so we may not need it at all. Okay. Resolution number 29-2026. First reading recommendation to suspend the 3 reading rule. This is a resolution authorizing the acting mayor to purchase a truck chassis from Cleveland Freightliner utilizing Daimler Trucks North America and related vehicle equipment from M-Tech utilizing ARM Truck Corps, aka Truck Corps LLC, through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program and declaring an emergency. This resolution would be for the purchase of our new plow truck through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing, which is a national cooperative purchasing, which enables us to bypass the bid requirements on it. I believe this exceptions provided in Ohio Revised Code 9.48, I believe. So requesting a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
So let me speak.
Yeah.
Can I explain this suspend? So, or do I gotta wait for discussion? Go ahead. So, this was budgeted, obviously, because again, with everything going on with Iran, the prices increased about $40,000. We are in need of a new plow truck. And we, with the help of, Lieutenant Collins, and Gessick, we visited multiple sites. We've had actually some of these plow trucks brought over to us. The road department was able to drive them around the village, kind of test them out. There's all different kind of styles, so on and so forth. But these things there's at least a 6-month turnaround to have them built and delivered. And so the reality is that this kind of got lost in the shuffle. I brought it to light about a week or 2 ago. We should have voted on this several months ago because at 6 months right now, we're looking at like November. So we're really pushing that potential snowfall. So it's a need. The one that we have is on its absolute last leg. We did budget it for it. We actually had a conversation today after looking at the bids. So they assured us that they can have the chassis here and done within 4 months by September.
Correct.
And then it would go to the second company for it to be outfitted for everything that it needs. The problem with that is you have to have it to get on the schedule. And so I'm kind of working through that as we speak. But the hopes is that it'll be all taken care of by November at the latest. But we have to move on this now.
I just was surprised to see this because I know we talked about it a few months ago since I was on here, and then we never talked about it. And I remember some of the bids. I can't tell you now because it's been a while, but we're quite a bit lower. Like, what is this one coming out to be, $240,000?
Yeah, so, a month and a half, 2 months ago, that same truck probably would have been, and so the other thing is, do they have it, right? And so when their quantity lowers, obviously the price, but everything also, going on with Iran. So the the chassis itself is
It's
something $1,000.
110 to 111,000.
Yeah, but then the custom, to get it customized and fit it for everything else is the additional money.
So the other bids that we had before, some of them were cheaper, right?
Just what,
They would have expired by now.
There were some that were lower.
than what we're asking for now.
But as far as like, in terms of what the village, was looking for equipment wise and quality wise, it did not meet the standards that their road department believes is required and the mayor. So,
They have to be heavy duty for as much plowing as they do.
Yeah, so you could have found a truck for $130,000, $140,000, $150,000, but in 5, 6, 7 years, you would be buying another one, if not sooner. They were just not equipped to do what we needed to do.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, we're adding this year, we're gonna have either 1 or 2 more roads in Hidden Village that need to be plowed and 1 or 2 more roads in Booth Farms that need to be plowed. That we did not have this past winter. So we're looking at anywhere between 2 to 4 more roads that will be plowed this year.
How do you pay for this? Do they do, like payment plan? Like if you buy a car, you don't just have to have it up front, or
this would be paid in cash.
this would be paid in cash?
Correct.
This has been planned out for several years and
You get a
budgeted for.
discount for paying in cash?
Oh, you don't have interest.
It's a plus.
I think we did have a point too this last year where there was a breakdown of 20, right?
Yeah. So they're like, just the other day, they were driving one of the 4700s, and one of the tires blew out on it. And they couldn't get they couldn't get the lug nuts off because their tire toward that some ridiculous amount of pressure. So we had to call somebody out there, a company, to take the tire off, the spare on, so on and so forth. And that can happen even with a brand new truck. But we're consistently fixing augers and hydraulic systems on it. You name it. Because the kicker in all this is the engine is fine in it, right? They're pretty good, but they're 20 plus years old at this point.
Oh,
it's not longer.
Much longer. Probably
And
closer
so
to 30.
yeah, so that since they're not driven much from a mileage perspective, they don't have a lot of miles, but they're exposed to the harsh conditions.
Are we keeping that or trading it in?
We haven't made that decision. We wouldn't trade it in. We would auction it off.
I mean, body wise, remember it is carrying salt after all.
Yeah.
I just will add, that the village does spend a lot of resources, at the end of the winter season to fix what has been torn up. So visibility for the operators is huge. Right now, we've got some correspondence with how, on Main Street, the Booth Farms, homes that are facing Main Street, they're right away, they're about 2 or 3 feet. It's just gonna get torn up almost every single year the way it's designed. And so they're developers thinking of ideas on how to protect how those look. And so visibility for the drivers is a huge thing.
Yeah, which is why one of the requirements with a lot of these people that were bidding on these was they had to either allow us to go there and see the trucks and drive them, and or bring them to us. So Collins actually played a huge role in getting a couple of those companies to bring the trucks up here to allow our drivers to drive them around. I personally have plowed our roads the past couple of years, and I really didn't think much of the difference of like a hood. Like you're staring, if I'm sitting in the steering wheel right here, the typical hood is like this. I sat it on a Freightliner and the hood slopes down. It was a complete game changer. You could just literally see. It was amazing how much I wasn't seeing. And so just something as slight as that, right? That's newer today that didn't exist 25, 30 years ago when when we had the truck. So it was, I appreciate Mike Collins, Lieutenant Collins, having those people bring those trucks so that our plow drivers could actually try them and fill them out. Turning ratio was a huge thing. You know, there was one of the bids was just a couple $1,000s away from the one that we ended up going with. But in driving the truck itself, there was a significant difference on how that vehicle turned around. So.
All right, we ready to roll?
Yeah.
Pardon the pun? Motion to suspend.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call. Elias?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Mike? Curtis?
Yes.
And a motion to approve, resolution 29-2026.
Second.
Roll call. Elias?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2026-02, on third reading. This is an ordinance amending section 121.01 and 121.031A, standing rules of order for Village Council of the Village of Perry codified ordinances to amend the start time for village council meetings and declaring an emergency. A reminder, this is the ordinance that would move our regular council meeting to 6 p.m. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Roll call or any discussion?
Roll call.
Elias?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. Curtis?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll publish that new rate time for our meetings and I'll have to double check on the amount of notification we'll have to give on that. Make sure that happens.
John, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So how will public hearings take place moving forward?
They could take
Council
place,
days?
they could take place within the, regular council meeting, so we could schedule them simultaneously. So like, said the same thing we kind of did with the tax budget hearing, we could just schedule it at the beginning of the meeting.
Very good.
Ordinance number 2026-03, first reading. This is an ordinance amending section 5.2.2.06 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Perry to increase vacant structure registration fees and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 2026-05, second reading. An ordinance prohibiting members of village council and the mayor from entering into non-disclosure agreements regarding public matters, creating sections 731.142 and 733.241 of the municipal ordinances of the Village of Perry and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 2026-06, second reading. This is an ordinance amending chapter 121 of the codified ordinances of the Village of Perry and declaring an emergency. Ordinance number 2026-07, first reading. An ordinance regulating the use of consumer fireworks within the Village of Perry, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
We have discussion on that one.
You can, if you like.
So with the fireworks ordinance, this is something that I worked on, and sent to Mr. O'Leary and Elias, and I was just, it's still very like, we haven't modified it or anything. I just was looking for feedback from you guys so we can kind of tailor it and make it into what you guys think. And if you guys had any thoughts as far as things to change. I know there was some discussion about taking out the wording for church, like by a church, like you were saying.
The part of it that did not allow fireworks to be lit off near a church. My reasoning behind that is churches have gatherings. They may want to have a July 4th gathering and they would not be allowed to have it on their premises.
So if you have feedback, suggestions, I encourage you to reach out to Brian, with those ahead of time.
Just as a reminder, this all came about because the Ohio Revised Code was changed 3 years ago, I think it was. And in order to opt out of what it allows that in the revised code, you need to codify it. And one of the things that I talked to Brian and I think Elias about was it would be good if you standardize this the day before Memorial Day, the day of Memorial Day, so that it's whether the dates change from year to year makes no difference. That way it makes it easier for it to be enforceable each year thereafter. So if you have suggestions for what he's put together, I appreciate how much time he spent putting this together because it's not easy to sort of pull all that together. And so give some input so he knows. I mean, I might even recommend that you suspend the rules at the June meeting so that you can have it in place for July. But that's up to council whether you decide to do that or not. But please give him some input so we can get it revised.
That's a good question. They do a proclamation for this year. This a standard read or?
And that was also up for discussion is like, do we make it an ordinance moving forward? Like, so it just continues yearly? Do we make a proclamation or I forget what you guys
It'd
did.
be a resolution that would just be from year to year, but I think, my personal opinion, I think you're better off if you codify it in the ordinances. You can always amend it down the road. If you find that the practice of having the day before a day or something doesn't work, you can always amend that. But to me, it's easier if everybody always knows these are the days around Memorial Day, these are the days around 4th of July and Labor Day, and so.
Some other feedback I got, Pam was discussing, other municipalities around us possibly not doing the weekend before, you said, or like that part you didn't like was the weekend before that was in there.
They don't like the smaller ones, Fairport, maybe Timberlake, they don't even allow.
Timberlake, yeah, we don't allow them.
No.
Like, they don't even allow them at all.
They're party poopers.
So I'm just saying, like.
I know Mayor Murray.
There's several of them I sent you.
Yeah, and there's,
Please don't
so
put
the
that
way I took it is, I went based off of Ohio Revised Code. And then I actually cut a significant amount of dates. So, I can't remember off the top of my head how many dates it started with, but it was like 28 days, give or take. And then now we're down to, less than half of that.
I just thought it was interesting to put it in perspective that a lot of these other committees don't even allow them. So here we are,
Well, it's fire
letting
hazard
them
I think you have to look
several
amongst,
days for
amongst other
fireworks.
things.
density's an issue, right? Like if you get into places like Fairport, houses are much closer together. Timberlake's the same way, whereas here you're a little bit more spread out. So you have to, because you're not in some places.
Well, there's still,
So-
there's still rules and laws around. So just to clarify that too, it's not, this doesn't include just the days. It's not saying, okay, these days you can light off whatever you would like. There's safety standards built in that I took directly from the Ohio Revised Code. So, there's 50 feet, 150 feet. There's different footage based on different types of fireworks. So it actually does, just Perry Village alone, like a lot of the places are actually unable to discharge fireworks solely based on the safety standards already put in place by the state of Ohio. So
I think my only input change to this would be the weekend before the 4th of July. And I personally don't think that's necessary.
Fourth of July is on a Monday.
The 4th of July,
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're gonna run into. If you do the day before, day of, and the day after, if July 4th is on a Wednesday, now you've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people want to have July 4th parties on the weekends. So we're still gonna have to modify it at some point by resolution to allow for a weekend.
right. And so 4th of July alone, looking at just that holiday,
The state of Ohio says the weekend before, the weekend after, and the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So the state of Ohio currently, as it sits, has 2 weekends and the 3 days of 4th of July. So just looking at the cuts that I made already is already pretty significant, I feel, just for that particular holiday. And then the other holidays as well, I made some cuts to each one of those because I understand and I appreciate veterans, PTSD. You know, there's a lot of, we have an older population in Perry that, you know, may not like fireworks. At the same time, we have an older population that does like fireworks. People with kids, I have 3 young kids. I also understand kids go to bed. So yeah, I kind of try to create a common sense piece of legislation taking into all those accounts. So as it sits, if we do nothing, we're reverting to the Ohio Revised Code.
Probably want to add the festival.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, there might be a special permit. Like there's also, you can get a special permit for fireworks as well.
Which we have to do anyways.
Yeah. Okay. And we already put an ordinance in place overriding the state.
Yeah, they allow that. They allow us to be more restrictive than what they provide.
Right, but
If
we don't do something, we're not reverting to the state's
Which
statutes.
whatever we currently have in
Right,
place.
because we have
So it
something in
reverts back
place
to the
that
resolution
limits.
you guys did last year, which
Right.
is.
Well, an ordinance. We have an ordinance in place.
There, I think we originally did pass ordinance, but I'm not sure. No,
But I think
did we?
We do it every
The
single year.
last
It's whatever it
couple
is that
years,
we have
it's
to
like
go
either
every
a
single
motion
year.
or a resolution.
Resolution.
Because last year it was just the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th.
Right.
For 4th of July and no other holidays at all, I think is what you guys did, right?
Yep.
That's
Okay.
why I'm sitting here today.
Fireworks?
And I,
Shoot 'em.
you know,
All right, so get him the information.
One thing I'd like to
Okay.
say.
All right, and their final piece of legislation, ordinance number 2026-08 on first reading. This is an ordinance adopting a cybersecurity program for the village of Perry, Ohio. Ohio Revised Code 9.64 and declaring an emergency. This is a new requirement passed by the state legislature. We will need to have a cybersecurity policy in place by July 1st, 2026. This draft policy was developed by Lake County IT, and there are quite a bit of other items in the policy that will have to be developed with their assistance as well. More information on this besides just the draft policy.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm up.
You're up.
Mayor's report. I won't bore you anymore with the plow truck again, Freightliner and 2106. Getting it in red. Obviously very color, but I didn't even think about this in talking with the road department. A lot of these trucks are in white, but then you get a plow truck at night with headlights in the snow, white becomes difficult. There's no difference in cost. We confirmed that a few hours ago. Getting in the red, and the other change was we wanted to upgrade the alternator to a bigger, stronger alternator. So you already got the update on that. Police chief interviews, we've gone through the second round. I want to appreciate all of council for making themselves available. We had 13 or 14 original candidates. Did we interview all of them, right?
we reviewed 15 to start.
So I think, but there was 2 who initially had applied and then at some point kind of backed out before we
Yeah,
even
I think,
started.
I think a couple may have dropped out.
Yeah.
At some
So we dwindled that down to 5 candidates. And I'm doing my due diligence and getting knee deep in doing HR backgrounds checks on all of the ones that we're going to consider to move on forward to. So that's been a little time consuming because you're kind of having to, rely on other departments and
all the channels that you kind of have to navigate through. It's different from city to city, and department to department. Hopefully we can get that up, wrapped up here, very soon. The administrative assistant role, which is new, we had a total of 80 applicants apply for this part-time position. I want to thank John, our CFO. I went through the first 50 resumes, and then I got a headache. John went through all 80 of them. We, through my 50, I think we had the same 8. But anyways, he got through all 80 before I did. He showed me his list. We kind of dwindled it down from there a little bit more. So we got it down to 14 people. We started those, John and I started those phone interviews Tuesday. We had 5 on Tuesday, 6 yesterday, and then 2 today.
Interviews?
Phone interviews.
Oh, phone.
Yeah. So we wrapped those up earlier today as well. So I want to thank John for making himself available to help me through those as well. We've dwindled those down to 7.
I believe so, 7.
So I'll be reaching out to you guys to see, because I would like to have a face-to-face interview. And I would like council to sit in on those and be able to meet these candidates and ask questions, and then move forward with that. And you know, the goal is to have this position filled yesterday. And I'm pretty sure John would appreciate that. So that's it.
All right. I just, I guess I want to go on record as indicating how much I appreciated Jim Gesick as mayor, having worked side by side with him the time that I've been here since 2020. And I'm going to miss him. Obviously, give my support to Elias as he steps into that role. But Jim will be missed. And the only other thing I have is, and I've neglected to sort of bring this up because you've been so busy with the other interviews. As a reminder, I was scheduled to step aside at the end of March. And I extended that because we were still dealing with many issues. I would like the June meeting to be my last meeting. So I would suggest if we can at least put out a advertisement for candidates. I can either be involved in the process or not involved. I'll leave that up to the acting mayor and council. But just that reminder. Okay, that's all I got.
We're gonna need a resolution to authorize the advertising of the position.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, sure.
Second.
We need to.
All right, roll call. Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
I'm going to try to be really brief, but I have a lot of stuff on my list. There's a lot of things going on. So the pickleball courts, we have the gravel basin, and I think it turned out really well. Bentley did that work. We have an asphalt contractor that was selected. We received 4 bids on that, and we selected Mitchell Construction. And I'm just waiting on their schedule. He's done a bunch of pickleball. He has one in his backyard. So he's passionate about it.
Prices with the asphalt.
They were, he was the cheapest one. He called me, I didn't ask you how to buy your pants. You know, it's really simple. So he was. So the drainage project, as I mentioned earlier, Bentley kind of stopped work on it. They did finish center. If you guys noticed, they graded everything. They put the ADA ramp in. They finished the paving in preparation for the Memorial Day parade. So they got that all done. On Green Thompson, they found a lot of utility complex stuff that just was never marked. So we worked through a lot of that. I think we got it all behind us, but they're going to wait till after Memorial Day to start on that because of the traffic on Green Street, especially the school buses. Manchester Road Bridge, although that's not our project, I did stop by there and talk to them. They're actually ahead of schedule. They're driving piles. Elias wanted me to promise them be open by Friday. Told them I can 100% promise them it won't be. But they are driving piles about 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule. So that's good.
You can
You probably-
testify they are driving piles.
You probably feel it every time they hit it.
It's in my backyard.
Catch basin project, we put out quotes for doing 2 catch basins and putting sidewalks on Thompson and on Main. And again, we had, several quotes on that. Bentley was the lowest bid. They bid 52,000, which was significantly lower than all the other bids. They're right there. They're already working, so it makes sense. So that they've been, we've moved forward with them. Tree Pride of Perry was hired to clear deadfalls off the sections of Red Creek. That's an important thing because Red Creek is our primary drainage through the village. So if we have deadfalls that fall across the creek, it impedes the flow and we have flooding. So we're going to do this every year. We're going to try to do another section. So they actually went out and cut a lot of the deadfalls out. And that cost gets reimbursed through stormwater.
So did they already do it?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even see them.
They're out Monday the 4th.
They didn't see it.
So
During one of your 17 vacations.
Lastly, we talked about the OPWC round 44 or 41 application. And then on the Maple Street, the Perry Village, we were awarded $169,400, which is 6% of the cost of Maple Street. And that's for the total estimate for the project is $282,800. So that's a good chunk of change that OPWC. When we say OPWC funds, understand that that's both a grant and a loan. John read out the loans before. In order to maximize your points scoring, you have to take a loan. There's 0% loans over 20 years. So there's really no downside to it. That's it. That's enough.
Thank you very much.
The only thing I had to add on my financial report was that the RETA has their annual meeting on June 11th, and typically I've attended as the delegate for the Village of Perry and a couple other entities. So I just need a motion from council to act as a delegate for the RETA annual meeting.
So moved.
Second. I'd like to hear a second. Roll call.
Yes.
Elias.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes. Police chief, you guys have the report. Thank you, Collins, Lieutenant Collins, for putting that together. I will say that, it is very easy on the eyes, so I appreciate that. Very easy to follow. I'm not even looking at the right report. But the one that he did put together, is very easy on the eyes, very easy to follow. You will notice that, we've given out a few more citations than probably we have in the past. A lot of that has to do with the additional patrol that we've been doing at Blue Farms. I've done a couple ride-alongs with them. I was getting a lot of complaints from people on Blue Farms that people are eating the stop signs, especially the one by the playground set. I was being sent videos left and right. I did some ride-alongs. I witnessed, we pulled over two people within, 15, 20 minutes. One was a resident in Booth Farm, and then one was a visitor, a young girl from Mayfield Heights. But the development, the people in the community over there have been very thankful, and so there's part of the spike has been there. I've also have informed Lieutenant Collins that he's informed the rest of the department to start doing more patrol in Dugan Farms and Green because of the bridge being out. I started to notice a lot more traffic getting frustrated because I live on Manchester and I forget that the bridge is out. So I started to see a little bit more frequency of people going through Dugan Farms and they're frustrated, right? So we're starting to see, and then with the kids right now waiting by school buses was a concern of mine, but anticipating that the bridge was not going to be done by Friday. School's going to be out here in a few weeks. So the kids are going to be out playing around, stuff like that. So the community in Dugan Farms should start seeing a little bit more patrol and the cops kind of just sitting still and going through that. So the report's there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask myself or Lieutenant Collins. Public Works. I actually have a meeting scheduled for Monday with the road department in order to kind of get an idea of what kind of direction that they need assistance and leadership with projects going on. They know what 70 to 80% of their work day and week should look like. It's that other, 15 to 25% of those special projects that come up So a lot of that stuff is little side things that are one-offs, some stuff with the park itself. So just building those relationships, opening up communications with all parties, getting everybody on the same page, so that, everybody's expectations are being met. So that's the update on that. And then I'll turn it over to Kristen.
So my zoning report is in there with my, numbers today for zoning permits. Just bigger announcements, next month, June 11th, we'll have another public hearing on the topic of rezoning some parcels associated with the Hidden Village development at 6 p.m. And next Wednesday, we will have a planning commission meeting, and that's it.
Okay. Economic development. I have no update for you because I've not attended a JED or planning commission meeting while Mayor Gessick was out.
Roy, is there any JED meeting coming?
There's not been anything said yet.
I didn't see him back.
Roy's back.
Oh. Hi, Roy.
I have a question for you, Elias. Is there any way we can get in touch with the PEDC? Because I found out that they haven't had a meeting for approximately a year. For anybody that doesn't know, PEDC is, it's very economic development council. So it's tasked with trying to bring businesses into the local areas.
So what's your question or request?
They're supposed to be meeting periodically, at least once a year.
So
They're supposed to have a January meeting for sure. They haven't got a meeting, I think it was since
Who's
last
on?
May or last March.
I think each community does, aren't they on?
There's 2 appointees from each community, 2 from Perry Village, 2 from Perry Township, North Perry Village, and the school. 8 total representatives. The JED has 1 representative from each.
Correct.
Entity. And they used to have the meetings with the JED at 7 o'clock and the PEDC at 8:30. But I think what happened is the joint governmental affairs forum started taking the place of the PEDC meetings. So they've been kind of pushed to the back. I think it's
Who are our representatives? Do you know?
the mayor and a resident. I forget the name.
Okay.
So before we go into council, well, I guess I'll just make it part of mine. Anything else on JED, PEDC, or planning commission? Okay.
I'll add on the thing for planning. We had a member step down, so we'll need another appointee from the mayor.
On the planning commission? Somebody stepped down?
Yes.
Who was that?
This Heather.
Heather?
Okay. And who's, so Becky is on it. So it has to be a community member. Okay. Council. Where was that?
For your first on the list.
Yeah.
Do you have anything
No,
else?
there was something I was gonna say back here. So yes, I want to say this. So we are hosting, the village hosts this year, all of the government forum meetings. It used to be that the entities altogether had, I think it was 4. I think we reduced it to 3. Those meetings are typically on Mondays, at 8 o'clock in the morning. And in this case, since we're hosting, it would be here. And then, next year, I think it's the school hosted, they host it wherever they have it. I just kind of wanted to put it out there. I had a conversation with Brian. He brought up a good point. So I'm going to have some conversations with all the entities, but I'm going to look to move those meetings to later in the day. So that it allows Curtis Brian, who work until 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever, the opportunity to be available for those. As of right now, it being 8 o'clock in the morning, they would have to take the time off or going to work late or whatever. So again, no promises, but I'm gonna have those conversations with those entities to see if we can move those to on a Monday, but just later in the day. And those are requirement meetings. You know, we do have every entity that sends at least 1 or 2 people to it, but nonetheless.
Do you remember when the next one coming up is, Lawrence?
I'll have to look at my calendar. I don't remember when it was. Again, you got the police report for the fire. So these are just updates from the boards that I sit on. So the police, again, you have the update on the police chief position. We now are looking for 2 full-time police officers. Once we kind of narrow down that police chief situation, I'll be able to have those conversations. And we can get knee deep and looking for replacing those 2 candidates. Lieutenant Collins informed me that he already has some resumes and applications. So going through that, but again, I would like to hire the chief, whoever that may be, and then collaborate with them as to who those officers are going to be that we bring on board. As far as the fire department, on behalf of Dominic, all the firefighters, and myself and the fire board, we want to thank the community for your support. It was a close race. We had 1,109 voters vote for it, 958 against it. In addition to that, you also have the report to look at that. So I want to thank Rick Walker for putting that together. We have a retirement luncheon for firefighter paramedic John Cumberledge, who has done 25 plus years. That luncheon is going to be on June 10th from 11:30 to 3:30 at station number 2, which is off of 84. If you wish to attend, they are asking that you RSVP by June 3rd, and you could either contact or email Chief Dominic or Barb, the secretary, to do that. The senior center casino night was last Friday. It was very, very successful. In total, they were able to raise $6,677.20 after all expenses were paid. So it was very well attended. The feedback on it was very, very positive. There was a lot of work that goes into a casino night. But the company that they use is phenomenal. They're good people. If you're looking to do a fundraiser, so it's pretty big. And then membership at the senior center is 676 and growing. So they're doing very, very well. And then finally, last but not least, the youth rec department, they are going to have Matt, our director, is finalizing a summer program. He's pretty excited about it. There should be something coming out on social media and the website, so on and so forth, here within the coming days to a week. But over the summer program, there's going to be, and he kind of has it categorized in 5 different groups. The first one is called World Cup. Bear with me while I put something up here. World Cup. So it's going to be kind of focused on soccer training. Another one is going to be an Ignite Run Club and 5K with some training and some exercise and some stuff going on there. There's going to be volleyball open gym. There's another, the 4th one is called the Masters. So there's going to be a lot of like golf training, so on and so forth. And he's getting other groups involved in assisting with this. And then the 5th and final is called the US Open. So he's actually using, I believe the family is called the Walkers, but they're going to be assisting with putting some type of tennis training over the summer for the kids. So the date, the volleyball will probably start mid-June, and then the soccer program would be right around June 29th, and everything else will be at some point in July. And that's all I have. And for Curtis.
My committee is still inching its way through legislation. Next month, we should be good. Other things I have is we submitted the resolution that we had passed for the America 250 Ohio. So we have our flag. We are an official community now. And then I came to the finance meeting on Tuesday, and we got back into discussion. I'm going to dig back in to see if I can get 2 more quotes for a new sign up front to try to get that restarted again, since went to the back burner, and I apologize for that.
Oh, no.
Farley?
All right, Elias, myself, a couple of people from the school board, and there may have been a few other folks sprinkled in. Were invited by Maria Rusnak, from Perry, to attend a, meeting with a Harvard doctor, Michael Cork. We attended the meeting. It was very informational as far as the potential health risks of data centers. Specifically, what Dr. Cork looks at is potential air pollution issues. And he has worked with communities and data centers, kind of projecting the air pollution, the risks of the air pollution spanning over miles. Maria just actually sent Elias and I the link to the, she recorded the meeting and sent us the link. And I believe she posted it to YouTube. When I opened it up, it went to YouTube. So I believe that information is out there for everybody to see. Now, Dr. Court, he focuses on air pollution. Some limitations of what he is discussing is potential water pollution, sound pollution.
Air.
Well, air, yeah, he does talk about air. So there are some limitations to what he does. He essentially is a consultant for communities going through this process. So he did have a few packages if we were to go with him as a consultant. You know, just so that the community knows, the health and safety of our community is the number one priority for me, speaking for myself here. And with that being said, I do think it is beneficial to look at more potential health studies in relation to this data center. And so I would like to look at different options of doing so. That's kind of the next step in the process here. Whether or not we go with Dr. Cork or different options that may have more comprehensive studies is kind of what I'm looking for. So I'll be looking at some different options and also getting back to Maria because she asked, you know, what we thought about the presentation. So as far as Nick's in attendance here, Nick reached out to the Providence group with some questions. It had taken a long time for them to get back to him. We ended up pushing for these answers for Nick. And I'm happy we did get something back today. I forwarded it to Nick this morning, and I believe he posted on his Facebook on the community page, Nick. So it was a huge document. I haven't even had a chance to start looking through it. I'm, you know, not sure if Nick has even yet. It's a lot of information. So I'm going to see if we could also try to post that on our website somehow, like how they sent it.
So it came in PDFs. I had no idea how to post that, so I had this copy paste like the wordage. So it's very
Yeah. So my plan this weekend is to read it.
Post it as a link.
And if we can post it, John,
Yeah,
that would be.
it would be very easy to.
Yeah, because like I said, I haven't even gone through the information yet. This is just today, but I forwarded it right to Nick, and so yeah, that's out there now, and that may have some answers to some questions. I'm not sure because I haven't even looked at it, but as far as other things, communication committee, I'm going to present a list to Elias for the next meeting of the folks that we would like to have nominated for the committee. So if anybody has any interest in doing that, please let me know. I would like to have a group of folks that have different ideas of how we can better communicate. I attended the township meeting on Monday or Tuesday, mixing up all my days now, Tuesday. And I had a good discussion with the trustees about, you know, potentially moving forward and discussing some small things here and there to help better work together as far as budgets. You know, like an example is plow trucks. Like if they needed a plow truck, if we went in together, you know, potentially we could get a better deal. So I'm looking forward to expanding that relationship with them and moving forward as a community together. And I think that's all. That's it. We hit on the police. Oh, there was a situation. We had a homeless person come into the community hall here during the finance committee, and the finance meeting, and I'd like to commend the police officers for helping this gentleman. It is good we have the resources available to protect us and also help people in situations.
And that was Officer Jacobson and Sergeant Orth.
Anything else? That's it. Thank you.
Lover.
Couple of things. First one I already kind of covered was the Joint Economic Development Council. I think it's imperative that we make sure that council's working for us at a time we're in right now, trying to figure out how to better the strength of the commercial businesses in the village. We haven't had a meeting for over a year. So we also have an agent appointed by the Economic Development Council that's earning about $1,000 a month. So it would be nice to know what's going on there, what they're doing, and justify what they've been making all this money for. Second thing I have is the finance committee meeting that we had on Tuesday. John and I were in attendance as members of the committee. Lee was in attendance as a community member, and I would like to especially thank Curtis and Brian both as new members of council. One of the two biggest things that we do is budget oversight. And unless we know how to look at that budget and really read it, we really can't provide much oversight. We're relying a little bit too much on John, and that's not the way it should be. So special thanks to you guys for showing up and taking the time. And you guys asked a lot of good questions, and I think you got a lot of good feedback. We've got a great fiscal officer who's really able to answer all the questions without even looking at it. He's just rattling off the answers. So special thanks to John too. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and I kind of mentioned this at some discussions with our council, as well as John. John is also our PRO, our public records officer. And when someone makes a public records request, say, I want to know something that Curtis was working with, I shouldn't be submitting the request to him. I should be submitting it to John. John's the point of contact for records. Now, that doesn't mean that none of us take public records requests. We're all required to take records requests when they're submitted. But John is the point of contact that we should then be submitting those requests to, and he would be the person fulfilling those. With that said, if someone's requesting emails, he has to have the ability to access our emails to pull those records. So we all have village accounts. It's my opinion, and Jim, Mr. O'Leary, you can jump in on this if you'd like. John, in my opinion, needs to have our passwords, because it doesn't look good if John has to come to me and say, I need you to provide these emails. Well, if I'm doing something nefarious, I could potentially just say, no, that doesn't exist. So in total transparency, the best way to handle that is to give John access to the accounts and have him be able to pull those records.
Well, I think that's part of what we were talking about when we were talking about having laptops for everybody and having it on the county IT, is that, you know, they might be able to set him up with a separate password so he can gain access without having to have your password.
Like a secondary.
So that it would note that he was the one accessing the account.
Yeah.
So that it also protects you, because you don't want Go ahead,
Can I
Chris.
just throw something out?
Joe, right in.
We're hugely, like, I work for Progressive Insurance, so it's highly regulated, right? It's got a huge IT department. Anything I send in my email from there, IT can go in from the back door and under records and say, you sent it, right? So it's probably similar.
That's what I'm talking about doing. That's part of the other reason why I was sort of supporting the idea of having laptops that were just for village purposes, so that it would make it easier for him to access it.
Well, if we can do that, that's great. I didn't know that that was a possibility to have.
But we have talked to IT because I don't want to be suggesting that there's a capability that the county hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
But my guess is that they already do have that capability.
I can speak with them about that and also the laptops when they do, because they will be coming here soon to, start to work on some of their stuff. So I will make sure to bring that up.
Okay.
And Smithing for probably like a read-only type capability, so that they can pull and send what you sent, not actually send it on to your
Send your
behalf.
resignation letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Yeah, so like,
Mike,
it's
this
the
is
same
your
card for
last
you as the
meeting.
official and the person who needs to get to the records.
Okay. The only other thing that I wanted to mention, and I didn't have anything prepared because I didn't know the announcement that was made tonight was going to be made. Mayor Gessick's retirement, wish him the best. I know people have issues with the data center, but to solely base his tenure on the data center is doing him a disservice. He spent countless hours behind the scenes that nobody ever saw. Most of the people on council didn't even see. During the winter, he was out in a plow truck, not making a dime, plowing roads for 12 hours a night, going home, coming back in on Sunday, doing the same thing again. He fiscally got this village into a much better position than we were and when he started, and he deserves credit for that. And I just hate to see that his tenure here is going to be judged solely on this one incident. Now, I know it's a huge deal. I'm not downplaying that, but I just hate to see that it's turned into that. So I would just like to officially say, I appreciate everything that he's done. Whether you agree with everything or not, you can't argue with, he was a dedicated public employee, official. And thank him so much for that.
Sam?
Let's see. Let's start with, we had a meeting, Tuesday night, our third park meeting, and it's going very well. And I feel like we're gonna get some stuff done. And one of the first things that we did was have an Earth Day on the 26th, April 26th. And the weather was great. We had a good turnout. There was a lot to do. It was just very relaxed, and the kite guy was able to fly his kite for 3 hours, and it didn't rain, and it was really fun. We had a lot of things going on. The regular things that we do, but I think everyone really had a great time. And the next event is going to be in July, and we're looking at July 12th for a summer fun day again. That was one of our more successful ones. And we want to do a luau theme and gear it towards water again, like we did the last time. And so we're pretty excited about that. And then we have a bunch of other ideas for the rest of the summer, just like quick things like, I won't go into it because it's late, but we have a lot of enthusiasm and we're ready to have some fun. The other thing is the community garden. We had some trouble getting the fence up, but it's up now and ready to go. And we're going to go out, Barb and John Helly and I are going to go out tomorrow and mark off the plots and let everybody know that the garden is ready. We cleaned out the shed, so there's lots of room for more junk in there for them to add in there. And got a new hose that Mike got last year, and speed bumps that the hose goes under, so we'll be ready to go by Saturday. And the weather's going to be good too. Pickleball courts, I had that, but you took care of that. We're excited to get that going. We had NatureWorks grant that we were thinking about applying for, but since we got started kind of late with the whole committee, and it's due July 1st, and it's a lot of work, as we know, we decided to just postpone that until next year when we can do a better job. And besides, we're still busy with pickleball courts this year. PEP grant, we talked about that earlier in the meeting, and that's to our insurance underwriters. I don't know if everybody remembers where the PEP grant is from, but they give $1,000 grant to improve the safety of the village. So we had discussed getting a gate for the driveway at the park. We've had a lot of reports of people going back there during the night. And also with the new pickleball courts, we want to make sure that people can't, we're going to deter them from going back there and maybe trying to play pickleball at night or whatever. So I got grant or estimates for the grant, and one of them was Shannon Fence. I don't know who did the dog fence. Does anybody remember? Okay, I don't know who did that. But Shannon Fence, they're a well-known company, their bid, and so I don't know, it's called a barrier fence. It's galvanized, and it swings in like this, and then you lock it in the middle, and there's like galvanized pipes, 2-inch galvanized pipes. So that's what it will look like. So Shannon Fence had $1,945 for galvanized or black vinyl at no extra charge. And that road is 17 feet, 7 inches. So the gate itself would go on galvanized posts that they would put in the ground in concrete. And then we would have a police officer. It's the idea to lock it at night and unlock it in the morning. And then when it swings open, there's posts out there that they can hook it on so it doesn't flap around and hit cars or whatever when they're driving it. So that's basically what it looks like. So Shannon Fence was $1,945. Henry Fence was $2,150. Theirs was 3-inch galvanized. And I don't really know anything about fences. And then the third one I got from the township, the name, and it was T&T Fence, Mike Collins. And I don't know, I like to get different bids, and his came in at $3,200. So the best one that I got was Shannon Fence, and they're, well known and reputable. So I think we were on the second reading for that resolution, correct? Yeah, for the mayor to take all actions necessary. So I guess that would be up to you to take all actions necessary to fulfill this grant. So I don't know where we go from here. Do we vote on this, or do we wait until the next meeting and then vote on it since I've got the quotes?
I think it'd be good if you could provide the quotes, they can vote on it at the next meeting.
Okay, all right, I'll do
Can
that.
you, so the one was significantly higher, but the two other ones were like within 200.
Yeah.
Can you, find out for us what's the differences between those two, right? Because
Well,
they
I know
may
the
be worth
Henry
spending
Fence
the
has a
extra.
3-inch galvanized.
So what about the other one?
The other one's 2-inch. And the third, the really expensive one was 2-inch as well.
So like, again, $200 for an inch difference, to me is worth it.
Right.
So just.
So yeah, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I'll contact those two companies. I'm assuming we'll take this one out.
Do you have an actual?
I do on my
quote from them?
phone, and I didn't print them off.
Can you forward them to all of
Sure.
council information only? Reminding council that if you ever send things to each other, it's information only. The minute that you start discussing it back and forth, you've gone awry at the sunshine law. I'm suggesting she do this just so that it makes it easier for the next meeting. Make sure John's included in that.
Okay, so I'll send those out, what they sent me. They're not all the same type of quote.
Question about the gate. Is the gate dependent upon getting the PEP grant?
I don't know.
They
We're
generally,
going to apply.
they generally approve it. It would be unlikely that they would deny it so long as it's turned in on time.
Is it 100%?
Would be
Yeah, I mean,
$1,000.
it's $1,000.
I would only pay for half of it. Yep.
Something about it on that one line item. Let's see. Oh, and then we, the park committee also worked on, a list to, give Elias to work with the road crew this summer to get some things done at the park that he's to do. Let's see, the garden, the birthday. Oh, the birthday, I wanted to, thank everybody that helped, came out. We had, 6 PSL students come out and then another high school student come out. I think it was his third year helping us. And then we had, the fire truck and the firefighters came out because we had 2 picnic tables in the shelter that were in the way of, people walking through there. And they're really heavy. If anybody's trying to move them. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Because this is really gonna mess things up. So I called the fire department and they came out in their truck and moved the 2 tables. So I thought that was, really nice. That's a small town thing, that doesn't happen probably in the big city. Let's see. The other thing I had, and I hate to even mention this again, is the battery tube. So at the last meeting, we had all agreed and voted to put it out here at the corner of the building. And then Elias told me that somebody said, no, we couldn't put it there because it might catch on fire.
Fire marshal.
Who?
The fire marshal.
The fire marshal?
Yeah. We could put it there, but not in the tubes. So, I miscommunicated to you. I thought I had John order it, but, there is a special specific box that's designed just for that. So we can put it in that location. We just need to, order it and get that box in.
So I had looked at those. Those are pretty expensive, aren't they?
But the 2, I mean, I only did a little bit of research, but it looks like they go for at least $200.
Yeah.
Of high quality.
I mean, I'll personally flip the $200 for it. When it came back, it's a good program, right? We had a lot of people turning in batteries and stuff like that. And so I just, so there was a lot of good feedback from it. It is a good program. We, for insurance purposes, had to move it out of the park. I thought the best place to put it would be in the front over here by the building, the cameras, the high visibility, easier for the community to get to it. And then the fire marshal came back and said you can put it there, but not in the tubes that you have. You have to get a special box for it. So $100 I'm not concerned with. I'll personally pay for it. So if we can get that ordered and get it in, then we can have the road crew or whoever get it installed and put it there. But the location is not a problem. We just need to make sure that we're putting it in the correct type of container.
Right. Okay. So that's all I have for now.
I did have one item, and I don't know if because I think typically the mayor in the past had kind of headed up some of the work with the fishing derby coming up.
Oh.
And I wasn't sure if someone was organizing that, and I think typically the mayor would make sure the kids had like prizes and trophies and a few other things. So I could take a look and see what we purchased last year and see if.
Didn't they always stock the pond?
So I think the bigger question there's no awards to be given if there's no fish to be caught. So
it was stocked recently. I'd have to check.
Isn't there a grant
We
for
applied for this.
$500 to stock the
Yeah, the state
pond?
grant.
So
So our grant,
that's typically what we've used the grant for.
and we got approved for that, correct?
Not yet. So
Well, we applied for it.
yeah, they're very slow. And actually last year they sent the check after the derby.
Yeah. Did they notify us before the derby that we had got?
I'm not even sure they did, honestly.
So
But if they do award it, we have to earmark it towards something like that.
Right.
what so how do we go about ordering?
Becky's gonna do it.
I would suggest that we contact Jim McMillan, I've been doing that. Phil Casella and myself have been doing that since the beginning of the tournament, but Jim he did the fishing derby when we were having our fall festival. He had everything organized. He had, rather than trophies, because at one time we gave some trophies, but he had different things for the kids, tackle boxes and all that they did. And I have a copy of his rules and, you know, who could do what and what's going on. I will forward it to everybody. I had talked to him when we were doing a fall festival, and he kind of indicated that he would be willing to help with that, you know, organize it. And
Was he the gentleman that I used for the fall festival?
Jim McMillan?
Is he like the troop leader? or
Yeah,
something?
he was.
Huh?
Boy Scout leader.
Boy Scout leader?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That was a last minute idea, that came about. I took care of the Phragmitis that I learned a lot about. Nothing, Pam just warned me that I needed to do something with Phragmitises and I had to Google it. But at the last minute, I was like, I have no idea about fishing derbies, and he stepped up and he just ran with it. The prizes the kids really liked. I was hands off. He like handled it from beginning to end and put it all together for me.
Yeah,
So you'll contact him?
I will.
I think
And then
the
you'll-
30th is June sixth, is it June sixth?
So is the date the sixth or the
I believe
13th?
I think it was always the first Saturday.
First Saturday.
The sixth?
I think so. For the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So, that's good, but should we advertise for it? Should we do the
Well,
advertising?
let's confirm we've got somebody to do it.
I mean, if we do.
Yeah, I'll call Jim tomorrow because I'll be.
And
gone.
then send all
I'll let
that to,
everybody know.
okay.
Who handles the stocking of the pond?
I have their name on file if we needed to stock it.
I'd be interested to kind of watch that happen. Right. Looking for freebies. No, I mean, how do they bring it in?
They just they back the truck up to the pond, they open up the little door in the back and dump them all in.
Dump them all in.
They go down like a little chute.
Anything else, Ben? All right, thank you.
I really don't have anything. I was sick the last, planning commission meeting that we had. And Christian really has covered everything with the planning commission and that we need another person. My only suggestion would be that the person that because there's two old people, myself and Lee on that committee, I think we need another younger person. And everybody's younger than I am, but I think somebody that has been in the village or was raised here, whatever. But, 30s, late 20s, 30s, even 40s, but I think we need we need a younger person. They have different
For planning
ideas.
commission you're talking about?
Yes.
Well, you gotta replace Heather, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what she's saying.
that's up to Elias to do so.
All right, well, anything else, Becky? Anything else?
No, I haven't.
All right, well, before I close, purchase improvements. Motion to approve, purchasing, or the approval of purchases from April 6th through May 7th. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, Elias,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask that too.
What's that?
We have
The folder,
this one
where's the folder?
Oh, yeah.
for the
Oh.
state.
It's in my office.
Too young for that.
Public comments.
So, looking back at what province has offered to pay for,
this is hypothetical, okay? If this thing moves forward and, you know, that's where we're at. Saw a lot of good ideas, some not so good ideas, in my opinion. I can think of nothing more important or worthy of us spending that money on than to protect that school. If it's metal detectors or what we have to do to harden that school in the, God forbid, the unlikely event that something happened in one of our schools. We had all this money at our disposal. We didn't use it to protect those kids against something like that in some way. I think that would be a travesty. So in my opinion, if we get to that point where this thing is going through, and they're throwing money at us, I think that I'm asking you guys to look into what that would cost, what that would look like, and what we would need to protect those kids. So in my opinion, I can't think of anything more important or more, like I said, more worthy of that money going towards. Other than that, I like fireworks. The more access I have to them, the better for me. And I'd like one of those hoodies.
You take this one. So, you know, I appreciate, you know, your thoughts and your ideas and stuff like that. I will respond with saying that, I have brought the school and the fire department. I think the fire department always gets lost in all of this, right? And the fundings and stuff like that we've had, either state driven or stuff from the nuclear plant, is significantly different today than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. So I think if you were to reach out and speak to the school board and stuff like that, or anybody over there or the fire department, I'm very confident that they will tell you that I brought them to the table. They are very big concern for us. And what I mean by that is to be taken care of, as is the case with the fire department. So we have a very healthy line of communication with those parties and stuff like that. I meet with them at least once a month. John meets with them, with me as well. So I echo, right? They are at the forefront of everything, but so is the fire department. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
I'll bet Mr. DeBus has a question or two.
Okay, I was wondering, the number of applicants for the police chief position, I know you guys didn't know it off the top of your head. Could somebody find the exact number for me? Because when I eventually write a story, I'll want to know that. Either, John, if you know the number of applicants, or Elias, could somebody email it to me?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. The administrative assistant position, first I had heard of that. Is that a full-time position?
No, it's part-time. It was something that was thought of at some point last year. We budgeted for it just in case we wanted to do it, to explore that possibility. As the village continues to grow, I mean, I just stated that we're adding at least 4 more roads that are gonna need to be plowed between Blue Farm and Haven Village. But as the community continues to grow, you know, the time that it takes John to do things, you know, it becomes more difficult. So it was budgeted for last year, for this year. And we posted it. It's a part-time position, does not have benefits. And we threw it out there. I mean, it was a while ago. We had it open for how many weeks?
I think we feel like we posted it in March or late March, and we had it open for a few weeks.
Yeah, within the first week, we were probably at 40 or 50, and I actually looked into seeing if we can like close it at that point, but we couldn't. So in the end, we ended up having 80 applicants apply for it.
It's just somebody, so it, John is not just the go-to guy for everything. Anytime somebody calls, or that some of the duties could be dispersed.
Yeah, that's the plan. Exactly how that looks, we don't know, but I will say that we have some pretty strong candidates for the position. So that, you know, that was pretty exciting. Again, we've spoken to, I think it was 14 of them. And so, or I'm sorry, we spoke to 13, one person, I couldn't get on the phone.
Yeah, you're right.
But some pretty solid candidates, to the point where I actually reached out to the fire chief to see if we still had our secretary position open. Because had it still been open, I would have, sent over some of those candidates over to him to look into, but that position is closed over there as
So
well.
did you mention last when the goal is to have that, position filled and?
I did yesterday.
Okay.
Um,
Is it something that, Jim, would they have to have a resolution on that to hire the person?
Not for,
Time slot?
not for the secretary, but for the police chief.
Police chief.
yeah, the goal is, obviously, if the person has a current job, because some of the candidates actually still have a current job now. We want to be respectful and give them the opportunity to, give their notice and fulfill that time and stuff like that. So, ideally, if we can get it done by early June, get the person in, that would be ideal.
Also, what was the date of the mayor's retirement letter when that was dated?
Effective today.
Today?
Effective today, yes.
I had to make a copy for you.
Okay, did you receive it today as well?
So he gave it to me yesterday.
Okay,
And I opened it. I didn't open it until today.
okay. All right, let me see. Also, Elias, will you be, in June providing any updates on the fall festival? I know we're getting closer to that.
Yeah, so I'm no longer the chairperson of it. I'm kind of mentoring the two, so it's being co-chaired by both the senior director and the youth rec director. They decided that there was nothing to update this past Monday, I think was the meeting was supposed to be. So we did not have a main meeting, but I'll provide an update come the June meeting.
Or however it's gonna look, as we get closer to it, you would always provide a lot of information. I got to write about things, so whether it would be Matt or Tina,
Yep.
whoever, if they could communicate with me on things,
Absolutely.
that would be good. Also just curious, are you guys gonna have a July meeting? I know in the past few years you haven't, but with the data center, it just seems like there's a lot of energy on council now, a lot of things going on.
We have actually not even discussed it.
Okay, I just wondered, this year, you guys seem busier than ever.
Yeah. I mean, it may warrant meeting in July.
Okay.
I think that would be something that we'll kind of talk.
I
Go for it.
Okay, I was just curious. That's everything, thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sorry.
Who would be in charge of the fishing derby? Because I have tons brand new unused fishing tackle that I want to donate to the kids.
I'll call Jim McMillan and he would be, if he agrees, then he would be in charge of it.
You give them prizes. You can make gift baskets and give it to them as prizes.
That's what he did for me at the fall festival. He bought like tackle boxes and fishing stuff, and instead of trophies, that's what he gave out as prizes.
Who contact Jim McMillan or who?
Well, let's make sure that he's on board first.
Yeah, and like just said, if you have something you want to donate, you can always drop it here and then we'll get it to whoever's gonna run that.
And depending on how much you have, it was a pretty big hit for the fall festival. So it's going to be my suggestion that they do it again this year, because it drew an audience earlier to the park than it did in the past. So if you're interested and you have stuff that you want to donate, you can use it for the fall festival as well for their fishing derby.
All right, okay. So I just want to clarify something earlier that I think was discussed a little bit. It's great to, have a potential town hall or anything like that with Providence Group and hear their side of the story, but they're going to tell us, their jobs to get all that fun stuff. And it's another thing to be able to reach out to the councilman and get their opinions on something directly. But I think
community really wants and kind of needs right now. Because there's a lot of rumors flying around out there when you go and talk to people. It's terrible, some of the things that they're saying. I'll be honest with you. And they're not true. I want to make that clear. That we as people get, hear our representatives, where they stand on something. Hear what they think the pros are, what the cons are, from their own mind. Because at the end of the day, that's who we elected to represent us. That's who we put up there to make these decisions for us. But if we don't know what they are thinking on those decisions, we don't know where they stand. And then to change topics just a little bit, with the laptop situation that you guys are looking and I hope I can ask a little quick innocent question here. Do you guys use Google Docs a lot?
I do.
Is that what you're primarily working
For,
on?
for us here?
Yeah.
No. I mean, this is a lot of how, oh, what do you use, John, system and stuff?
Troy. When Troy was here, we used Google Docs a lot back then.
Yeah, but, we don't use it now. I can't think of
Right.
the last Google Doc that I've done.
Mostly I use Office, but I mean, occasionally I use Google Docs.
I was just gonna throw out, if it falls through the county and that doesn't work out, Chromebooks are relatively cheap and, that's something that's in the cloud. You can't really store it locally. Might be a solution that you guys might look into. If the county thing falls through, I would go that route. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Any other public comments?
so we do an executive session?
Yeah, I do. I also kind of want to end the meeting by saying, because I forgot to mention this earlier, but I do want to thank Mayor Jim Gesick for his time. He did a lot as a mayor, whether people cared for him or not. You cannot deny the amount of hours that he put in, raking up leaves, picking up leaves, plowing the roads to give our road department breaks, so that they can spend time in holidays with their families. And he took over during a period where financially the village was struggling. And he was able to lead that council group through a process to put us in a better financial situation. So I want to echo Mike and thank him for his time and energy.
All right,
That,
we need
a motion to,
go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation, of public employee or official, consider confidential information related to marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, etc. Who are you inviting in?
council, yourself, and,
Let John go home.
yeah, John, you can go.
So we need a motion.
Motion.
Great, second.
Second it.
And seconds.
Roll call. Elias.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Mike. Yes. And Curtis.
Yes.
Okay.
We can get everybody